So King got under center knowing full well he was not going to take a snap. They should reset the clock. It shows 1:58 right now. It should be dead at 2 minutes even. They'll make that adjustment. We'll step aside. 2 minutes to go, first half. Georgia Tech 21, BYU 10. This is the Pop-Tarts Bowl on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's finally game day.
Bears rush 4. Willis floats one deep. He's got Doubs. He's got it. Touchdown, Green Bay.
And the countdown to kickoff starts now.
He's going to throw. Oh, pressure in his face. Fires, and it is caught. A strike for Willis to Musgrave. 4th and less than 1. Willis going to keep it. He's going to get it and more. Malik Willis showing you the speed. That's a good play call.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Here's Alex Strouf.
Away we go, week 17 in the National Football League, live from Green Bay. It's Saturday night. Packers-Ravens here, a 7:20 kickoff tonight at Lambeau Field. The final home game of the regular season for Green Bay as they look to snap a 2-game skid, losing back-to-back games in Denver and in Chicago each of the last 2 weeks. I am Alex Strouf alongside Mr. Worldwide Gabe Neitzel, the mayor, Steve Scaffidi, ahead of the backup quarterback bowl tonight at Lambeau Field. Likely, we don't have an official designation on whether or not Lamar Jackson will go for Baltimore, but certainly sounding like it could be Snoop Huntley and Malik Willis, as Jordan Love did not clear concussion protocol. So we'll get into a ton. We'll get into the heartbreak of last week in Chicago. We'll get into the division stipulations as the Minnesota Vikings give the Packers a wonderful Christmas gift by eliminating the Lions and solidifying the Packers in the postseason here in the 2025 season. But before we get into all of that, Gabe Neitzel, very likely the last time Malik Willis starts a game for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess no offense to Malik, I hope it's the last time he starts a game for the Green Bay Packers, because that means Jordan Love is going to be healthy, makes it through next week, and then starts the playoff game as well. But these 2 years with Malik, I mean, it just shows you how important it is to have a good quality backup quarterback that you can trust. I can't imagine that he is a member of the Packers next year because he is set to be a free agent, and this quarterback draft class isn't going to be nearly what everybody thought it was coming into the college football season. So teams are going to be looking. I think somebody's going to give him low-end starter money and an opportunity to compete for a job next year because of how good he's done for the Packers and Matt LaFleur.
You have to be happy for the kid. He started, 3 games over 2 years?
This will be his 3rd start.
And nothing but magnificent in those roles. I mean, for any team, you never know what the backup's going to be, right? He's going to come in, probably a younger guy. I mean, the Vikings and some of the other teams in this league have thrown in guys. Wentz was there, and then this Brosemer guy, whatever he's supposed to be, and he had like 7 net passing yards for that game. So you never know what you're going to get. We got a guy that should have beaten the Bears in Chicago, filling in for Jordan Love. That's as good as it gets. I wish him the best. And if he's not here, that means Jordan Love's healthy, so we're good.
Yep, that is correct. And we're not even going to do the entertain any of the thoughts that Malik Willis is a better quarterback than Jordan Love, because they don't really throw the football when Malik Willis starts at quarterback.
Hard to believe some of that was going around, though. It still saw some of that this morning.
I lied to you earlier. They only had 3 net passing yards. The Vikings only had 3 net passing yards.
And they won by double digits.
Max Prosper had 51 passing yards and then was sacked a handful of times, losing 48 yards on those.
That's amazing.
On those sacks.
What did Jefferson end up with touchdown passes? Does he still have 2?
Yeah.
So I thought that was 2 because I said at a party I was at on Christmas, because I hate watch that whole game. I said Justin Jefferson only has 2 more touchdown passes than I do. I love that.
I like that you hate watched it but left happy.
Yeah.
You left with the solidification the Packers will again be in the playoffs under head coach Matt LaFleur, who we will get to in the next segment. But just on the Malik Willis note, because I asked you this kind of jokingly before the show, I'm going to ask you it. You can answer it jokingly or seriously, however you want to open it. Gabe Neitzel, how will you remember the Malik Willis hair in Green Bay?
Honestly, I am going to remember it incredibly fondly. He saved the Packers early last season, because it was the first game, and you're sitting there going, man, Malik's going to be starting this next game after Jordan Love gets hurt down in Brazil. And, you see it every year. The numbers of, you start 0-2, the percent chance of you making the playoffs just goes down. And I did not have any faith in Malik Willis because of what he did in Tennessee. He had former teammates and guys like Taylor Lewan going on national television saying this guy doesn't know ball, he can't win with him, all these different things.
Yeah, I believe it was your coach, Jen Latta, who had a report that he struggles with football, I believe was the terminology.
That is correct.
I remember hearing that.
That was somebody that she had talked to, and all he did was be fantastic for the Packers last year. Even in the game, the one game that now he's played in 2 games, both against the Bears, where he's come in and the team has lost. He was still, it wasn't on him last week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know he fumbled he probably got out of the snap a little too quick on the 4th down turnover, but they shouldn't even been in that position.
Correct.
He led them to a game-tying field goal in this building last year against the Bears in the regular season finale. Every time he has been asked to step up for the Packers, he has always answered the call, and that's all you can ask for out of a backup quarterback. And he has been a very valuable member of this team the last couple of seasons because of what he's been able to do.
If and when he leaves, and it's probably when, he has earned random jersey honors. I would be proud to wear a Malik Willis jersey after he's gone.
That's a great call.
Awesome, right?
7 or 8 years, Gabe, when we're doing State of the Packers at Summerfest.
There's a Malik Willis jersey.
Yeah.
Yes, right on, dude. Thanks for wearing that.
That's a great call by you. When he leaves, I'm going to find one on the discount rack. That's a good call by you.
That's right.
Good call by you. Green Bay Game Day is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. We are live at the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. It's Packers-Ravens here on Saturday Night Football. I think when we were looking ahead to this one even 2 weeks ago, Gabe, we were going, that could be a big one. Ravens are playing for something. We could be playing for potential division implications or playoff seeding implications. And now all of a sudden we're here, and you're going, the Ravens aren't very good. Malik Willis is starting for the Packers. They have a playoff spot secured, and they're a game and a half back of Chicago. It's lost a little bit of its luster.
Sure, but I think you want to avoid being that 7 seed if you can, if you're the Green Bay Packers, and it starts by winning this game. Yes, you need help. You need the Niners and the Lions next week to beat the Bears in order to potentially win that division. But I don't think the Packers, I don't think anybody inside that building's waving the white flag and going, I guess we'll be the 7th seed this year. Let's go ahead and just go on the road again. No, I think they're going to be ready to play this game. They're going to be fighting, and they're going to want to play for Malik Willis. That's the other thing about Malik is it seems that everybody enjoys and wants to play hard for him, just like they do for Jordan Love.
How much of it is a factor that the fact that they've lost the way they've lost the last 2 weeks, both on the road, they come home feeling like they got to get back on the right track because you never know what's going to happen next week. The Bears win, the game doesn't even matter really, and we'll probably see Malik Willis again. But that factor and the fact that they haven't really played other than a couple games here and there for a couple halves. Great football at Lambeau this year. This is sort of that game where you can sort of reset the tone.
Yeah, and you want to start playing some good football heading into the postseason, right? You want to have, and we talk about the magical run of the wild card team back in 2010 with 2 games left in the regular season. That's when they started playing some great football. Destroyed the Giants at Lambeau, beat the Bears, and then go on the run in the postseason. You got to start building some of that momentum and starting to feel good about yourself in terms of what you can do offensively, defensively, even though your 2 best players are not playing tonight, and Jordan Love and Micah Parsons. You still have to find a way to put your best foot forward.
Yeah, Steve, we were talking a little bit before the show, and you made a comment. You said, well, the future's really bright, right? Tonight's a game where they don't have Jordan Love. Gabe mentioned Micah Parsons. They also don't have Tucker Kraft. They don't have Devontae Wyatt, who will be on the 5th-year option next year. They have a lot of younger players that play significant roles in this team that are out of this game tonight, but I think there's still a little bit of level of faith that, okay, Jordan Love's healthy. Matt LaFleur gets in his bag. Jeff Hafley gets in his bag. This is still a team that can go on a run in a league that we've seen maybe more parity than we ever have heading towards the postseason.
Injury-wise, we took a bad beat this year. I mean, we lost superstars. And Tucker Kraft was out of his mind. He was like the tight end in the NFL. Everybody was talking about him. We were on national TV. They raved about him. He performed at the highest level. Obviously, Micah Parsons, still an all-pro, probably. Certainly a Pro Bowl. Did what he was supposed to do. This team is still going to be awesome next year. Now, rosters change, and I'm sure Matt LaFleur and Goody will remind us, you never know. And you were telling us before the game, there's decisions to make on the defensive line, offensive line, so you never know who's going to show up, who's going to be there. Obviously, for me, next year, bring those guys back, get a cornerback, find a cornerback that can – look, Keyshawn Nixon is fun to watch on occasion, but he broke our hearts last week, and he got destroyed on two plays.
He did.
He did a good job in the second one. It was a fantastic pass by Caleb Williams.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? It was good coverage, but it was a great pass. Yeah, the other, he just got lost in coverage, which can't happen with a veteran. But, I mean, it is going to be a very interesting offseason with some of those players and decisions you have to make, because you also don't want to create too many holes for yourself because you're down a first-round pick. And again, I am not I don't want to make it seem like I am complaining about being down a first-round pick. I would make that trade once again, giving up those draft picks to go get Micah Parsons. But you don't have as much available to you this upcoming offseason. So, yeah, what happens with Sean Ryan? Do you let him walk? Do you what do you do with Rasheed Walker? How much could he potentially stay for? Do you feel good about Jordan Morgan kicking out there? Yeah. Defensively, Quay Walker, is he going to be somebody that you throw a little bit of money to? And
maybe Adrian Cooper comes back the way he was first year.
Yeah, and so there's just a lot of decisions that have to be made. But that's, again, these last two games probably factor a lot into guys like Quay Walker. If Quay comes out and plays and is one of the reasons why the Packers end up not missing Micah Parsons all too much, because, well, he's Micah Parsons, you're going to miss him no matter what. But if he can help be one of those difference makers on the defense without Micah, you're going, okay, maybe we bring him back and keep that athleticism at the linebacker position. And he's going to have a big game tonight. If Snoop Hundley is indeed going to be the quarterback, which you're going to find out here in about 80 minutes or so when inactives come out, if the doubtful Lamar Jackson goes, slowing down the run game is obviously going to be a huge part of what the Packers defense has to do tonight with Derrick Henry, who was tremendous in last week's game, and then Todd Monken just forgot he was on the team and just didn't even have him on the field when they were trying to come back.
He was like a lost soul for a while in that game. Like, why is he just standing there not playing in the game?
And he had 18 carries for 125.
I know. It's
not like he had like 10 carries for 8 yards or anything like that. He was having a monster game last week. So you know that they're going to want to feed him early and often, and if you can slow him down and go, all right, Snoop, you got to go out there and beat us, that's how this defense can maybe force a couple of turnovers and get by without Micah Parsons, at least in tonight's game.
So when it comes to playoff seeding for the Packers with 2 weeks remaining in the regular season, it's pretty simple. In order to not be the 7 seed, you need at least somebody to lose out, whether that's the Rams, the Niners, or the Bears. What's helpful in all of that is the Niners and Bears play each other tomorrow night, so one of them will walk away with a loss with only 1 game remaining. The Bears' Week 18 opponent is the Lions, that game in Chicago. And the Niners' Week 18 opponent, well, currently the 1 seed in the NFC, that's the Seattle Seahawks. So you could get out of that 7 seed, but on top of needing somebody to lose out, you also need to win out. You need to win both your 2 final games, which is certainly doable for the Packers here against likely Snoop Huntley and the Ravens and then next week in Minnesota.
It's interesting, though. I think most fans would want to go back to Chicago and beat up on the Bears. I mean, am I wrong on that?
And if you're the 7th seed, that's very likely.
I would love for that opportunity, but I would love to be having a home game here instead of playing the Bears for a couple weeks. I just firmly believe that that's the next step that this team can be taking. Like, if you're the 7th seed for the 3rd straight years, 5 years ago, it didn't exist.
Out. We'd have a completely different LaFleur conversation this year if this was the 3rd year in a row didn't make the playoffs.
Correct. Yeah, if they were sitting there as the 7th seed, needing these things to happen in order to get in, last week would have been an even bigger disappointment because you'd be on the outside looking
Well, the point is fair. I think we would all agree the 7th seed was a good addition to the NFL because there's so many non-division winners that have better records than divisional winners, right? Like, you look at the Packers at a 9-5-1 right now. Well, despite losing to them earlier in the year, the Carolina Panthers are leading the NFC South. I think if we said straight up which team do you think is better and more deserving of a playoff spot, despite the result earlier in the year, you pick the Packers. You just would. They're a better team. And that's why I think you look at the 7 seed, which has won several times, if I'm not mistaken, since it was rolled out, Packers being one of them.
Hell, the 1 seed lost last year, didn't the Lions the 1 seed?
Yeah.
Lions
they lost.
were the 1 seed, lost right away. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so.
No guarantees. Playoffs.
Well done. It's not a half bad impression by you, actually. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've said it all year now, but the parity this year in the NFL, it really truly feels like anybody can beat anybody, which is why
you want to have as many advantages in the postseason as you possibly can. And this team is going to be without some of their advantages because of the injuries that they've suffered. So you'd like to have home field advantage and try to be able to, go to make a Super Bowl run that way. But again, they need a lot of help in order for that to happen. It just felt like that's the next step. And I know it was so clean for the teams in the 90s where they finally made that step in 95, won that division. Shout out to Yancey Thigpen, who made that drop 30 years ago.
24th, all those years ago, 24th of December, was at the game. Couldn't
30
believe
years
it.
ago.
Went from, oh, my God, to, oh, my God, what just happened? It was incredible.
So you win, obviously you win the division for the first time. You end up going to that NFC Championship game, and then you win the Super Bowl the next year. You end up being the 7th seed again. It just kind of feels like you're stuck in this, despite making the move for Micah Parsons, it kind of feels like you're in this little bit of a rut, and you have to find a way to break through that ceiling and put yourself in a better spot in the postseason.
So that's another, and obviously we'll have this conversation as we get closer and closer to the offseason, but that's where Ed Policy comes in. He's got decisions to make at the end of this year. 1 year following this year. 1 year left on both Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur's contracts. They're the 7th seed and they lose in the wild card round. Is it time to make a decision at one of those spots, GM or head coach? That will be something Ed Policy has to figure out this offseason.
Yeah, and I know a lot of this conversation this year has been around Matt LaFleur. Like we've ridden the roller coaster with Matt. First 2 games, he's the best coach ever. They end up losing to the Browns and the Panthers, and the way they lost last week. Okay, is he on the hot seat? And we're just riding that roller coaster up and down, and it feels like after making the move for Micah Parsons, it felt like Goody is safe, but not that the Pro Bowl's the end-all, be-all. But when those rosters come out and you only have 1 Pro Bowler, look, I understand that Love is probably a snub in my mind, but still, if you want to be a championship caliber team, you need more than 1 Pro Bowler. You need more guys that can make a bigger difference.
That's the bad side. On the plus side of this conversation about talent in this team, they haven't been blown out of a game all year.
Yep,
they're in every game against some really good football teams. So it's hard to say they're, on the down slope because they're not. They got a young team. They're going to be great next year when everybody comes back.
Well, to your point,
hopefully.
that was something they struggled with a year ago.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's against really good teams. They lost all those games last year. That hasn't been the case in 2025. To Gabe's point, I guess on the flip side of Gabe's point, they really have 3 Pro Bowlers, right? One of them tore his ACL November 2nd, Tucker Kraft. And Love probably
more
a
than
snub.
likely.
I mean, sure.
You feel really good about him as your franchise quarterback, so I guess I don't really care if he's a Pro Bowler or not. Rashawn Gary was a Pro Bowler last year.
Sure, but it shows you that maybe there's not as much. Well, again, I feel like the roster is in a good spot in order to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the team in '96 had 3 Hall of Famers. They had Reggie, they had Leroy, they had Brett, and a number of other Pro Bowlers. Like Chewy was a Pro Bowler throughout the course of his career. Robert Brooks had a almost 1,500-yard season in 1995. Yeah. Antonio Freeman broke his arm in '96. They came back, still almost had 1,000 yards. There was a lot of talent up and down that roster. Frank went to a Pro Bowl, obviously, and I think they had 7 Pro Bowlers and 3 or 4 All-Pros in 2010 when they won the Super Bowl. So while I think that there isn't, I think the bottom of the roster certainly has come up. The top end. You think of the Super Bowl teams, the teams that go there, the top end of those rosters are usually pretty good. And right now, the way that the rest of the league looks at the Green Bay Packers roster, they don't see a lot of top-end talent.
With this disclaimer, if they win those games they should have won, they'd have a lot more Pro Bowlers on this team because the record dictates a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And those games are close. Could have went our way, didn't, and that's why we have the record we have.
Green Bay Game Day is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Steve Scaffidi, Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf with you. And we are here at the Tundra Trio tailgate, and you know it wouldn't be Wisconsin football without brats on the grill and Coop's mustard on top. Coop's part of our game day tradition, part of my game day tradition. From classic yellow to spicy brown to jalapeno and all the in-betweens, they bring the flavor. Coop's mustard, spreading the love since 1897. Steve Scaffidi did some research this morning. He's going to tell us about it.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm a little bit nervous.
That's what happens when you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I woke up to a tweet from Steve saying, I can't wait to talk about this.
Oh, my goodness.
Steve Scaffidi's time to shine on Green Bay Game Day is next.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
When you're injured, you want quick, specialized care, not a long ER wait. The orthopedic care specialists at Ortho ASAP treat fractures, sprains, strains, sports injuries, and more right away. With on-site x-rays and expert care, Ortho ASAP gets you back on track faster. Open 7 days a week with locations in Brookfield and Pewaukee, it's more affordable than the ER. Walk in, get treated, and get back to life. Ortho ASAP. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 4-1. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
For every athlete, every fan. Whether you're suiting up your team or rallying your fan base, Alpha Custom Apparel brings fresh, affordable designs to the field, court, or stands. We outfit schools, clubs, leagues, and fans with gear that turns heads and builds pride. Need uniforms, spirit wear, or fan merch in a hurry? Our quick turnaround and unbeatable Midwest-based service means you'll be ready for game day in style. Quality designs, comfortable fits, local service you can trust. Create with us at alphacustomapparel.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 16-ounce selected varieties, Frito-Lay kettle or potato chips, Doritos, or rolled gold pretzels, 2 for $6. 8-pack or 64-ounce selected varieties, Mott's apple juice, 2 for $6. 8-ounce selected varieties, McCormick cocktail or tartar sauce, $2.29. 16-ounce selected varieties, Dots pretzels, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal. Free groceries.
2 over the top.
Free from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by December 31st.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
The pursuit of fair wages and top-of-the-line benefits is achieved when the right union has your back. The Sheet Metal Workers Labor Union is extremely diverse, representing Wisconsinites working HVAC, architectural metals, welding, specialty fabrication, and much more. Make great living wages with outstanding benefits, pensions, and apprenticeship programs in trained, safe working environments. The Sheet Metal Workers Union is a leading force in the revitalization of the labor movement in Wisconsin.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. It continues live from the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. I'm Alex Strouf alongside our guys, Gabe Neitzel, Steve Scaffidi, who are with me each and every home game all season long. Now, I feel like I've known Steve for years. We've always gotten along. But as we've continued to do this show together each of the last 2 years, I've gotten to know more about what type of fan he is. Little doomsday at times. Little doomsday.
little dark.
And, the last 2 months or so, maybe not even that long, the last month or so, I've been joining him every Monday after Packers games on Point Taken on WTMJ. And he just kind of lets it out. And I play therapist a little bit.
I'm a fan perspective.
Yeah, it's a perspective. No doubt about that.
No offense, Steve, but I think you can find a better therapist than this guy, right?
No, my wife says the same thing. She gave, honest to God, after the Bears game, she gave me the "it's only one game" speech. Here's a true story. Right before all the chaos happened in that game, she goes, "You've been so quiet and reserved this game. I'm proud of you." And then that play happened, dropped that onside kick. I unleashed probably double digits, maybe 24 F-bombs in the course of like 5 minutes. I mean, every phrase had multiples in it. She goes, I cannot deal with this. So that's my state of mind when I show up on Monday to talk to Alex.
Sure.
And I didn't even wait. I was going to fire people. I was getting rid of Doubs. Sense. I was getting rid of Doubs that night. I mean, I overreaction Saturday. Yeah. I mean, that's how I live and die with the Packers.
Yeah. So, and you're not alone.
You can imagine my concern when I woke up this morning and saw this tweet at 5:10 a.m. from Scaffidi.
Yes.
I have a lot to say on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ's Green Bay Game Day coming up at 4 today with Alex Strouf and Gabe Neitzel. I don't think Matt LaFleur and Rich, he's my guy, Bisaccia, will like any of it. Don't care, needs to be said. So, Steve Scaffidi, the floor is yours.
So what riled me up is when I saw LaFleur's presser when he said the special teams were pretty good, and then he talked about catastrophe plays, and we were talking before the game. There's at least 3 or 4, probably 4 catastrophe plays this year. One is allowable in a season that's this important. He has 3 or 4. I am not a Rich Bisaccia fan. I don't like his facial hair. Either grow a beard or go clean shaven. You're so far out of date.
What are you, a pirate?
Come on, dude. What are you doing? And I get that he's LaFleur's guy. He's also assistant head coach. What is he responsible for? What is he doing besides the special team? You know the games. I could go back in our history, whether you go 2014.
Can you not, actually?
Yeah, I mean, did you not feel the same way on Saturday? Of course you did.
Probably not to the same level, but it was the same level
NFC
of
Championship versus regular season. But it was the Bears, my goodness. So I spent some time on that, and we know that the previous 2 guys in that position, special teams, one guy's, I believe, out of football.
Meninga. Sean Meninga.
And then Creighton or Drayton. What's his name?
Drayton.
He's the coach of Citadel, and he's got like a 5-27 record. So he went on to great success in college. It's his alma mater, so I'm sure he has a cushy job and a big salary. But Rich Bisaccia, please explain to me what this guy's magic is other than he's Matt LaFleur's friend. Now, as Gabe and I brilliantly discussed on Twitter last week, look, they're not going to fire him. It's in the season. They're 9. What are they? 9-5-1.
Yep. Yeah.
They're not going to fire him. Mm-hmm. You're going to the playoff. So that's a given. But I demand better. I want a better team. So I looked up Matt LaFleur's record. Great regular season coach. Mm-hmm. Basically 2 wins to every loss throughout his whole career. He obviously went to the NFC Championship game with Aaron Rodgers. He's made the playoffs now 3 straight years, albeit probably the 7th seed, which would have been a thing about, what did you say, 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
But at home in Green Bay at Lambeau Field, he has a losing playoff record, which is never acceptable. So don't tell me he's a great coach. Anybody. Now, this argument that I've heard online and on radio all this week that, fans are saying he's not a good coach. Everybody said he's a good coach. He's not a great coach. Great coaching is defined by getting to the playoffs, advancing in the playoffs, getting to the championship games, or getting the Super Bowl. He has not done that other than the first year with Ron.
What is he, 2-2 in his playoff career at home?
He's 2-3. No, at home?
Yeah.
He has
2-2?
I don't even think he's 500. I think he's under 500.
I think it's 2-2 because they would have, his first year they got the bye. They would have beaten the Rams at home, went on the road to the Niners, lost.
We'll Google it.
The following year they won at home, then lost to Tampa Bay, and then they lost to San Francisco. And those are the only home playoff games. 2-2.
Right, so 2-2. Yep.
And he's won in Dallas and lost in Philly.
He's lost in Philly, San Francisco.
He has a losing record.
Yeah.
I expect better. This is Titletown for a reason. You get to those games and you win, and this has not been the story for so long since 2010.
So I won't argue that. I would just say under those expectations and everything you just spelled out, There's probably, 2 great coaches in the NFL? Andy Reid's one of them.
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton's like 500 in the playoffs, pal.
Sean Payton's not
I got bad news for you. If we're gonna be doing that.
But what did I say? He's won a Super Bowl. That's a qualifier.
Okay, is Mike Tomlin a great coach? He's had an above 500 record every single year he's
hasn't won a playoff game since 2016.
He's a good coach, not a great coach. You win a Super Bowl, you're a great coach.
So I guess the thing I struggle with, because I guess I agree with everything you said. I've been over Rich Bisaccia since last year. I mean, I think most of us have been.
So when we talk about special teams, there are a number of things that you can blame him for. Them being historically bad at punt returns. Yeah, you can blame that on him. Yeah. When a field goal kick gets blocked, sure. But also, like, the Packers' special teams have been so bad for literally the last decade, right? For the last decade. Totally. We now have a new president. We have a new general manager. We have a new head coach. We've had how many different coordinators? I just don't understand organizationally how they haven't been even like accidentally put together a good special teams year. I don't know if it's just something they don't emphasize. I just haven't been able to figure it out in my head because it hasn't made sense.
Beyond the Chicago Bear game reality, which is painful for all of us Packer fans, the fact that their special teams are ranked anywhere, depending on which source you look, anywhere from 21st to 26th in the NFL for special teams. When you're paying this guy a fortune, is not acceptable as a fan. So he could be the nicest guy. I know the reporters love him. Certainly Matt LaFleur loves him. I don't need to love the guy. Just do something in that job.
I also don't care how much money he's making. Like, the money he makes doesn't affect the cap.
Pay for performance.
Well, sure.
So I guess I don't care how much money really, outside of salary cap players, I don't care how much money anybody's making because the Packers literally, they've got a money machine inside.
Yes,
they're printing it right now. It's just coming out. They got a money tree inside. So I guess I just don't give a rip how much, and that's something that everybody always brings up with Rich Bisaccia. Oh, he's getting paid all this money.
But I don't care about the dollar amount, I guess. I care that he is the number 1 paid special teams coordinator in the National Football League, but yet they consistently have a bottom 5 crew.
Which is, and I will say this, working with Q Myers on Friday nights on the network. So Q covers the Raiders. Right. He's out in Las Vegas. And when we were having a conversation about the Packers and I had mentioned how bad their special teams were, he was floored. Because that's how much Rich Bisaccia is respected around the league. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, he was a head coach for a moment in Las Vegas with the Raiders, right? He was a fill-in guy?
And so he's the one who filled in for Gruden and led them to a playoff appearance, like galvanized the group with everything that was going on distraction-wise with Gruden.
Raiders fans still view that as a mistake. Not retaining Rich Bisaccia, which because I read that a couple of weeks ago because they're so bad this year with Pete Carroll at the helm, and somebody went on a big tirade about how it was a mistake they didn't retain Bisaccia, and I'm viewing it from the same scope as Steve most of the time. I'm like, nothing's gotten better since he's gotten to Green Bay.
I think I brought up with you the Sean McVay example. He fired his special teams coach in season because they had these catastrophic plays. What's the difference? What's the difference?
It's the first time McVay's done that in his really successful tenure in in-season coaching change.
Again,
something LaFleur has never done.
I look at, while there are things you can certainly blame Rich Bisaccia for, I do not blame Rich Bisaccia for what happened in Chicago.
Did you hear his presser?
I don't either.
It's on Romeo.
This is what I didn't like, though. He complained about the fact that the configuring of how the NFL makes them position themselves is part of the responsibility of why that happened. I'm not buying it. You play within the rules of the NFL. You have to go after that ball. I thought he was timid.
That's not on Rich. That's on Romeo in the moment.
You have to go after the ball. I thought he waited for the ball.
You think Rich Bisaccia in practice before the Bears game was like, okay, Romeo, here's what you do. You got to be timid and let the ball play you. No, that's not what he's doing. Come on, Steve, you're smarter than this.
Better coaching means those guys are going to be aggressive. The Bears were aggressive. That's why they got the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's on Romeo. It's 100% on Romeo.
Of course, it's also the player, but it's also the coach. The coach is ultimately responsible for the conduct and performance of his players.
Okay, all right, then I don't want to hear that. Then you need to hold Jeff Hafley to the same.
Absolutely,
absolutely. But I didn't hear anybody blaming Jeff Hafley after Keyshawn Nixon blew coverages.
Well, if you would have asked me, I would have blown him up too. I was unhappy at everybody.
We just had that conversation. We're like, oh, Keyshawn blew this coverage. What? Okay, then we have to keep that same energy if it's always on the coaches and never on the players.
I love the passion here.
I blame players more than I blame coaches most of the time.
You do,
because players are the ones out there. Like they deserve the majority of the credit. They deserve the majority of the blame. And coaching can certainly make a difference. But I no matter what sport we're talking about, it usually comes down to the players and the caliber of the player.
You are right. Yeah, it's a good self-evaluation by you. It's something I've picked on working with you. And I don't think it's necessarily wrong to blame the players, specifically in this situation. It's more on Romeo Doubs than it is Rich Bisaccia. However, I don't think that doesn't make the Rich Bisaccia conversation worthwhile.
Oh, yeah, look.
How many times have we had this conversation?
I think in the bottom 5 of like qualified punt returners this year in terms of yards per return.
3 of them?
I think the Packers have 3 of them. All right? Like, so I'm not trying to defend Rich, like the overall picture, because the special teams are indefensively bad. I am just saying in the specific instance of last week, he had Romeo in the position. Romeo has to go make that play. Like, and again, you're a professional football player. Like, a high school coach is going to tell you can't let that ball play you, because especially, I mean, you hear about it all the time with shortstops, right? Hey, you can't let the ball play you. You got to be aggressive, and that's a round ball. Like, that's going to take a truer hop than whatever a football can do once it's on the turf.
It was a moment that you could not let that happen.
Gabe Neitzel.
You could not let that happen, and it happened. And it was the most...
Well, and the crazy part is,
it just blew us away as fans.
As critical as I've been of Romeo at times this season, and I have been very critical of Romeo, I feel like he has gotten too many targets at times. His skill set of being somebody that is good at operating in crowds, his hands are fantastic. Like, that's the guy I probably want in that spot, and he just let the team down.
Well, over at ESPN.com today, the title reads, Packers playoff hopes hinge on special teams, written by Rob Demovsky, who's going to join us coming up next. Can't wait to hear Scaffidi and Demovsky on special teams.
Oh, so we're not even going to play in the playoffs? If we're hinging it on special teams.
I don't know how long they're going to last.
That's painful.
Hey, Brats, Coolers, friends, you've got it all about rolling into the tailgate with a clean car. That, the real MVP move. Keep it spotless with the Tsunami Express Car Wash membership. 13 locations and growing. Easy to swing through on your way to the action. Tsunami Express, wash, chill, and repeat. Rob Demovsky from inside Lambeau Field joins us next on Green Bay Game Day.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Homer here for Window Nation's end of the year sale. It's cold here in Milwaukee, and if you've been thinking about new windows, it's good you waited, because during Window Nation's end of the year sale, get 50% off, plus you could get 0% interest for 5 years on windows that stop the cold wintry drafts, seal out moisture, and so energy efficient, you'll save money on your utility bills. Installed in 1 day. Lifetime warranty and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Sale ends soon. Don't miss out on big savings. WindowNation.com to get started.
Hey sports fans, looking to level up your next private event? V Private Bar Services is your game changer. Move beyond the ordinary. V Private Bar Services crafts custom cocktails tailored to your brand and your guests' taste. Imagine a bar experience that's as unique as your business. Our expert mixologists will create a memorable experience that your clients and team will rave about. From signature cocktails to full-service bars, we've got you covered. Be the MVP of your next event. Visit vprivatebar.com to book today.
Looking for a delicious meal without breaking the bank? Cousin Subs has you covered. Our $10 meal deal gives you a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub piled high with fresh hand-sliced ingredients, crisp veggies, and all your favorite toppings. Add a bag of chips or regular fries, a fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal's available online or through the Cousins app only, and you can enjoy your meal at home, at work, or delivered straight to your door, hot and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available at participating locations. Offer subject to change.
Hey, it's Alex Strouf. When it's game day, every detail matters, from the perfect seat on the couch to the perfect spread on the table. For over 125 years, Coops has been bringing incredible flavor to the table with 14 bold mustard flavors that turn good food great and great food amazing. Whether it's brats, burgers, or pretzels at halftime, Coops isn't your ordinary mustard. It's extraordinary mustard. So this football season, bring the bold, bring the flavor, bring Coops. Coops Mustard, spreading the love since 1897.
Potawatomi Casino Hotel wants to extend a sincere thank you to our guests and bingo players. With your generosity, this year's Heart of Canal Street event raised more than $700,000, helping 30 children's charities across southeastern Wisconsin. For more than 30 years, Heart of Canal Street has partnered with hundreds of local organizations to give children safe spaces, resources, and opportunities to thrive. Thank you for sharing your heart. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can really shine.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. Our team leads with faith, gratitude, and giving back, donating over $200,000 to local causes since 2020.
Tony Wendorf & Associates is ready to get to work for you with our white glove selling experience. Just search online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
Ben Brust here, and let's cut the crap. I've been sold the lie with sportswear too. You pay a fortune for big name gear, a fancy logo, and a slogan, and it still stinks. Then I found Iron Jock, and now it's all I wear. It's built on science. Their silver ion technology is woven right into the fabric. It kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria, and it never washes out, ever. Get yours today at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, Steve Scaffidi, the mayor, with you live from the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. Week 17 of the NFL season, and I made this joke last week. I'm going to do it again. Live from Green Bay, it's Saturday night. Packers-Ravens coming up, 7:20 kickoff, and joining us now is ESPN NFL Nation reporter covering the Packers from inside Lambeau Field. Our buddy Rob Demovsky joins us now. Rob, happy Saturday for the second week in a row.
Yeah, I guess this is the norm now, right? Just a Saturday to Saturday, right, Stroufy?
Well, the thing that worries me is that it may be more of the norm because maybe we'll get a Saturday playoff game, and I guess that's really neither here nor there with a couple weeks left. But we just had a very fiery debate between Gabe Neitzel and Steve Scaffidi about Rich Bisaccia and the special teams, and over on ESPN.com. Your headline today, Green Bay Packers playoff hopes could hinge on special teams. Obviously, after the blunder last week, what did you learn this week about the Packers special teams moving forward?
Well, I learned that if they're in an onside kick situation again, Romeo Doubs is going to be out there just like he was on one side. I think it was Jaden Reed on the other side because Rich Bisaccia says Romeo Doubs has some of the best hands that he's ever seen. So, I guess we can cross that off the list of things that might possibly change because it won't. It's just the thing is like you just never know when a special teams play is going to come up and bite you. And I referred to that quote after the Browns game where, LaFleur said, sometimes these plays can be catastrophic. And then they've had, basically three of them this year. The blocked field goal in Cleveland, the blocked extra point that the Cowboys returned for a touchdown or for a 2-point play, and then, of course, the onside kick. And then you throw in there that their return game has basically been non-existent. And, you have big questions about whether special teams is going to, you hope that special teams doesn't hurt you. The big hope is that it could help you. I don't think they're going to get help from it, but now the hope is just don't cost us a game, and that's where they're at right now on special teams. And it's not the greatest place to be when you're in the playoffs and games. The margin is slim.
Rob, what set me off is when I believe Matt LaFleur said at one of his pressers this week that our special teams are pretty good. By what's qualifier?
Here we go again.
How would you define it as pretty good? If you have that many catastrophe plays, it doesn't meet the definition.
ESPN does a FPI, which I believe stands for Football Power Index, and it rates all kinds of different things. What's your efficiency running the ball? What's your pass rate? All this stuff. Well, their overall special teams, I looked, is actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think they were like tied for 20th or tied for 21st or something. It's still right.
That qualifies as good around here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That's what I'm saying, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this is a special teams that for years, Rick Goslin down in Dallas used to always do those special teams rankings, and they were always 30th, 32nd, 32nd forever. So 21st, it's not so bad, right?
Pivoting away from the special teams, we've got Malik Willis starting at quarterback tonight, and obviously he was limited throughout the course of the week with the shoulder injury that he suffered at the end of regulation against the Bears last week. Are there going to be any limitations with him today? Are they concerned about his ability to be accurate or push the ball down the field at all?
It seemed like the bigger concern was his illness, and that's an illness that's spreading through the team, and we had more guys pop up on the injury report yesterday because of illness. It's going around. It's that time of the year. But I don't think there's great concern about the shoulder. He didn't seem concerned about it when we talked to him on, I can't remember what day of the week it was, Wednesday maybe. And he didn't seem overly concerned about it. So I think he's going to be okay. Certainly we'll see early on. I remember Rodgers' first year, he had a shoulder injury. I think it might have been against Atlanta, and McCarthy told him, "Don't worry, we won't call any deep shots." Like the first drive of the game, they called a deep shot, and Rodgers fired it down the field and hit on it. So maybe it could be a scenario like that for Malik Willis. I do think I expect him to play well, and I don't think that's wishful thinking. I think
Rob, that's all he's done in a Packers uniform. That's all he's done is play well.
Yeah, the red zone stuff was, not great, and I know some of that was Jordan Love earlier in the game, but that I thought that the performance in Chicago was maybe his worst one. I hate to call it bad, but that might have been his worst showing since he's been here during his extended time.
Rob Demovsky, ESPN NFL Nation reporter, covering the Packers with us here on Green Bay Game Day, which is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. This might be a dumb question, but did the Vikings win on Christmas have any implication on Jordan Love's status tonight?
I was told he did not clear concussion protocol, and it's as simple as that. Now, could we get to nuance? And they told the doctors, hey, let's not clear him, so we don't have to make the decision or whatever. I don't think that's the case. I did ask around to several people on, I guess it was yesterday, right? And, I was told he did not clear. That was the exact line I was given by a source. So I have to trust that. But I do wonder if there was a little bit of more to it. But at this point, I don't have any information that that's the case.
What's interesting to me is he did practice, though. I know there's no hitting in practice, but he's playing football. Right. Throwing the football, I mean, I don't understand the distinction there other than the hitting. He's still in concussion protocol.
There's 5 stages to get through, and I can't quote all of them, but you can Google it and find it. But, one of them is just exertion, right? You exercise, and then you see if you have any symptoms. The next one is, another activity. The next one, and so on and so on. And if he didn't clear the protocol, I don't know what the last one is, or if he didn't clear stage 4 or stage 5, but it's very specific on what you have to do, and then they examine you. The independent neurologist examines you after you participate in each one of these things to see if you can get cleared and advance to the next stage of the protocol.
Hey, Rob, Josh Jacobs is off the injured list, whatever classification he was. Is he good to go now? He's feeling great? Or where's he at?
He said, no, it's a good question. He said this week when we talked to him that he actually felt better this week going through practice than he did going into Chicago last week. And I think, he probably would have played more against the Bears had he not fumbled. I mean, he didn't get an offensive snap after the fumble, which is a whole nother issue that it was confusing, I think, to everyone, including him, and it sounded like the head coach. But I do think the fact that he's obviously said, what he said about how he feels, and then he's completely off the report has got to be a good sign because, let's go back to those 2 Malik Willis starts last year. They leaned heavily on the run game in both of those starts, and that could be the key tonight.
Defensively, it seems like they're not going to be going up against Lamar. He's doubtful. We'll find out here in about 45 minutes if it is indeed going to be Snoop. But how did Jeff Hafley feel his defense did in their first game without Micah Parsons last week?
Yeah, he was relatively happy, Gabe, with the pressure. And if you look at the numbers, they pressured Caleb Williams more than Caleb Williams has been pressured all season. It was like on 40-some% of his dropbacks. Now, if Warren Brinson gets that sack without grabbing the face mask, it's a totally different game probably, right? It was 3rd and 20, and they probably get off the field there.
God, Rob had to remind us of that. Oh, my goodness.
Well, it's just unfortunate because he stuck his hand out. All he did was stick his hand out and then get stuck in there. Okay, that's
right. Yeah, well, I mean, he's not trying to do it.
No.
Just, it obviously happened. So I do think, but to answer the greater question, I do think he was fairly pleased with the pass rush. Obviously, not happy with some of the miscommunications on the back end, and he wouldn't necessarily blame Keyshawn Nixon, but I think we all kind of, if you read between the lines, he more or less said that Hobbs and him kind of screwed up that play, and and then the last play of the game, I don't know that Nixon did anything wrong. He just got beat. It was just a better route and a better throw, and
good coverage. There's no defense for a perfect throw.
Yeah. Right, good offense beats good defense most of the time, right? But before that, there were some issues that Hafley admitted that they can't have happen. They have to clean up.
Rob, I think I heard that Nixon got shielded from the press media after that game by Nate Hobbs. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
So where's his head at? Where's his head at this week? Did anybody get a chance to talk to him this week?
No, he came into the locker room. The last day we had availability, the Saturday things got me all screwed up, so 2 days ago. And he said he was going to go take a shower, and they would come back and talk to us. And when he came back, there was 2 minutes left in the open media session, and he was on the phone, so we never got to talk to him, which, probably tells you, Steve, that, he was doing it on purpose, which is interesting because he's never been a guy that's shied away from answering hard questions. I mean, this is a guy who, answered questions after he fumbled in the playoff game at Philly on that kickoff early in the game. So it was a little bit out of character, I think. It'll be very interesting to see how he bounces back and plays today, because there's going to be a lot of eyes, all eyes really on him.
Couple more minutes with Rob Demovsky, ESPN NFL Nation reporter, here with us on Green Bay game day from inside of Lambeau Field ahead of Packers-Ravens coming up at 7:20 tonight on Peacock with some of your local stations as well. Rob, I always do these mental gymnastics, which are not a smart thing for a dumb person to do. But with 2 weeks remaining in the NFL regular season, the Packers could get the 7th seed and likely will get the 7th seed, but could get the 6th seed and could possibly get the 2 seed. I'm just curious if you're also participating in these mental gymnastics that are not going well for me.
Here's what I do it for personal reasons. I want to know where I'm going, what time I have to be there, and what the travel or not travel is going to be like. So to me, that's where I look at it. And then I've realized, Alex, over the years, you can go through every single scenario, and you still might have forgotten one scenario. So it's pretty hard to tell. I mean, look, they're not out of hosting a playoff game, and maybe more if they can get up to that 2 seed. It's a long shot, but I just go back to this. I remember in Philly last year, after that loss, Matt LaFleur said something to the effect of, we've got to get these playoff games at home. We've had 3 playoff games with Jordan Love at quarterback the last 2 years, and all 3 of them were on the road, obviously winning at Dallas, losing at San Francisco, losing at Philly. They've got to get playoff games here at Lambeau Field. That's what they want, and that's why this is critical, and that's why you still play all your guys if you can.
Certainly sounds like that's what you want as well. Less travel.
I actually wouldn't mind a return to Chicago, but
it's a heck of a story.
Fun.
That's a fair point. Go ahead, Steve.
Well, Philadelphia's in the mix too, so I don't know what your thoughts are going to Philadelphia. Anyway, Rob, the weather seems like a non-factor tonight. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, when I pulled in about 45 minutes ago, my car said it was 40 degrees.
Yeah,
now,
so
I did walk out on the field just to snap a picture and post it so I can prove that I was actually here. And it was pretty windy. Just walking out of the tunnel in the, I guess that would be the north. Boy, I'm terrible with directions. South, I don't know. The tunnel that the Packers come out of, whatever direction.
That would be south. That's south.
Southwest.
Yeah, it's not perfectly aligned.
No, southeast corner. I don't know. Whatever.
Yes,
anyway,
that's correct.
It was
This is going well, Rob. You're doing a great job.
Yeah. Well,
are you in concussion protocol, Rob?
I need GPS just to get back to my car at the end of the day.
My point was, I think this is a get-right game. We lost 2 straight games in a row. Both games we were leading by at least a touchdown in the second half. This feels like a get-right game. I give Matt LaFleur credit. He generally does a pretty good job with these games. So given the weather's not a huge factor, it's late in the year, almost the end of the year, this seems like a game where the Keyshawn Nixons of the world, the Josh Jacobs could kind of redeem themselves in front of the home crowd. Not a question, just a comment.
They obviously want to get some momentum going in the play. I mean, they're in the playoffs. You want to get some momentum. You want to be playing well. I mean, we always go back to 2010, but that team was 8-6 with 2 games to go, and they ended up winning the last 2 games and go on a run. Like, you want to go into the postseason the right way, in my opinion. So that's why I think these games are important to win.
Well, that's typically the last question I ask you. What are you looking for in tonight's game, as Jordan Love's not playing, and it'll be Malik Willis at quarterback, but it sounds like momentum is the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important. Am I right, though, in that I feel like the last couple times these teams have played each other, somebody's been missing their starting quarterback. Going back to the last time the Ravens were here in 2017, I believe Brett Hundley started that game, and it did not go very well. And then I believe in 2021 in Baltimore, I don't think Lamar Jackson played in that game, did he? If I'm not mistaken. No. So it's been a strange, these teams don't play very often, and it's been strange with the quarterbacks every time. But yeah, I mean, there's still plenty at stake, and I think if you're the Packers, not only do you want to get right, you want to look good doing it.
Fantastic stuff, as always, from ESPN NFL Nation reporter Rob Demovsky joining us from inside of Lambeau Field. Rob, thanks a lot. We'll do it again next week.
All right, guys, have a good one. We'll be seeing you.
Hey, Rob.
The great Rob Demovsky. We'll do it at least 2 more times with him, as the Packers are in the playoffs thanks to the Minnesota Vikings. It's funny. We haven't talked about this yet. The whole skull meme that the Packers did when they beat the Vikings, that really came full circle, didn't it? I love that. Thank you to the Vikings, as the Packers will be in the playoffs. Hey, wait, we are tailgating here at the Tundra Trio. Our partners and fans sip on some incredible cocktails, and that is thanks to our friends at V Private Bar Services, the go-to team behind our bar hospitality. They bring the flavor, the flair, and the experience that takes our game day to the next level. Raise the bar for your next event and book V Private Bar Services today. We Need a Hero, presented by Network Health. That's coming up next on Green Bay Game Day.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ. Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 41. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Looking up at the Marquette banners, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Number 15 retired in honor of Butch Lee. He finished in 78, and the number retired the next season. It's hard to believe that any player could ever equal what Butch Lee did at Marquette. Part of the national championship team in 77, and the Final Four MVP, and the next season, the consensus National Player of the Year. So much success, it's not necessary to bring up any statistics. Number 15, Butch Lee, did everything. Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line. For over 50 years, Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefit plans. From health insurance to customized coverage options, our experts make it simple to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning, your partner in planning confidence. Visit SaganiacPlanning.com or call John Saganiac Jr. today to get started. 262-783-6161.
Something exciting is happening at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. On the second floor, you'll find the Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, Milwaukee's destination for bold flavors, fresh sushi, seasonal entrees, and cocktails crafted with care. Start your day with a breakfast that fuels you, stop in for dinner that sparks conversation, or linger late into the evening with drinks designed to inspire. With flavors and drinks for every mood, the Studio is the perfect place to gather, celebrate, and connect. Be boldly social. The Studio Kitchen and Cocktails, now on the second floor at St. Kate the Arts Hotel.
There is no better time to tour the best senior community in Wisconsin than during the holidays while you're visiting with loved ones. Call 3 Pillars, make an appointment, and see for yourself why thousands and thousands of families have trusted 3 Pillars since 1905. Active adult, independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing and rehab, whatever your needs, 3 Pillars has it covered. Info at 3pillars.org. Call 1-800-848-5306 to set up a time to tour their amazing 300-acre campus in scenic Lake Country.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 16-ounce selected varieties, Frito-Lay kettle or potato chips, Doritos, or rolled gold pretzels, 2 for $6. 8-pack or 64-ounce selected varieties, Mott's apple juice, 2 for $6. 8-ounce selected varieties, McCormick cocktail or tartar sauce, $2.29. 16-ounce selected varieties, Dots pretzels, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal. Free groceries.
2 over the top.
Free from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by December 31st.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. I'm Alex Strouf alongside Gabe Neitzel, and spending about another 20 minutes or so with us is Steve Scaffidi, the mayor, ahead of the Jason Wilde Hour, which is coming up in just a few minutes. But before we do that, we got to do our Need a Hero. And you've been taking victory laps recently. You've been nailing these.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to surprise you today. I mean, I mentioned them already.
All right, well, we'll leave it at that for now.
Chris Bisaccia?
We can only hope, right?
Now, that was well done. Hey, Network Health, honored to serve many veteran members, and they're also proud to count veterans among their employees because they are based right here in Wisconsin. They're able to develop health plans specifically with their veterans in mind. Network Health. All right, you're going last. I'll go first.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I think it's Josh Jacobs today. I think he, when Malik Willis plays, they don't throw the ball a whole heck of a ton. And, it's 2 of the best running backs of the last past decade going up against one another today, and Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs. But I think Jacobs outshines Henry on his home field here at Lambeau Field. Today, I'm keeping it simple. Off the injury report, going to get a lot of work. I think Josh Jacobs is the hero I need today for the Packers to beat the Ravens.
I'm kind of stuck between a couple, but first and foremost, I want to say it is going to be very important, I think, for the crowd, and I'm a little nervous about the crowd.
I've noticed that.
Usually as we sit here, 2 hours before the game, the parking lot that we are right next to here at the Tundra Trio, it is full.
Not today.
There is not even a line 2 hours before kickoff to get into this parking lot, so I'm a little worried about the energy of the crowd. But the Packers' red zone offense for the last 2 weeks, it just has not been good enough. And Malik is going to struggle there. I think the red zone is certainly an area where quarterbacks can separate themselves. You're operating in tight windows, so they need somebody to step up there. And I think it's not Luke Musgrave because that's not the type of guy he is. He does better in open field, kind of bigger shot type plays with his athleticism. So I'm going to say Josh Wilde coming back from his concussion. I think he is going to have to play a big role for the Packers in the red area today if they want to turn those field goals into touchdowns. And this Ravens defense, that's something they have been good at all season long in terms of once teams get in, they are 6th in the NFL in red zone touchdown percentage defensively.
I like that one.
Mine is going to surprise you because 3 weeks ago at Lambeau Field, who made the final play on defense? in the end zone.
Keyshawn Nixon.
That's my guy. He's going to redeem himself tonight in front of the home crowd. That's got to happen because he needs to get his head right for the playoffs. This is where it starts.
So you brought this up with Rob, and obviously we cover so much ground with Rob in the 15 minutes he spends with us. But that was a really weird situation after the game because I talked with Jason, who was there on Green Bay game night last week. So Keyshawn was going to talk to reporters after the game, and Hobbs kind of stepped in front of him like I'm doing to Gabe right now and said, yeah, he's not talking tonight, which is just strange to me.
I don't know why he would assume that he could do that. I mean,
yeah, it's because again, like Keyshawn has been, yes, he is somebody who runs his mouth and talks. That's the type of player he is. I know it drives a lot of people crazy, but that's who he is. But he also steps up, as Rob mentioned. Right. It's not like he's shied away from moments where he has come up short for the Green Bay Packers. Right. And the whole thing was. But I don't think that Keyshawn went, "Hey Nate, take one for me here."
Well, I would almost say it's one thing if it was Xavier McKinney stepping in front of him,
sure,
or Micah Parsons, right? One of those defensive guys who we know is a leader in that locker room. Nate Hobbs is like a depth corner. It didn't really make a lot of sense.
Maybe they're friends. I don't know. Are they friends? Maybe that's the situation. He was helping out his buddy because Nixon's been known to say some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Even when he does well, he's a bit of a bad actor. Yeah. Let's put it that way. That's my pick. I hope he has a good game.
I do too. I like that. I like both of your picks today. Maybe even better than mine. Josh Wiley's a bold one.
That is a bold one.
They need somebody to step up in the red zone, and I think that's the guy that has to do it for him.
Argument for me.
Did you and Chewy ever talk about the fact that Musgrave can't stay on his feet after he catches the ball? My God. It's like every time he's like a bowling pin, he's falling over.
He's kind of like a baby deer. Yeah. He does have a little bit of that going on. But he's been getting more involved the last few weeks. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope for him.
I hope so.
Not to be Tucker Kraft level, but like a good
secondary piece.
So we'll see. Anyway, all right. Hey, Green and Gold fans, it is game day kickoff. Your tailgate with Bacardi. Whether it's Bacardi and Cola, lime and soda, or spiced in Cola, Bacardi, your game day go-to. Grab a bottle at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida, room 40% alcohol by volume. The Jason Wilde Hour of Green Bay Game Day is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice sculpture walk. Plan your Winterfest getaway at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, where it's always been the place for winter magic.
Big ideas deserve a big story and the right audience. At Saturn Lounge, we bring your marketing to life with branding, websites, digital marketing, and video storytelling that stands out from the crowd. Whether it's a TV spot, a campaign, or content built to connect, Saturn Lounge is where strategy meets creativity. From the first spark of an idea to the final cut, we're here to make your message shine across every platform. Ready to make your marketing a success? Step into the spotlight with Saturn Lounge, your launchpad for bigger, better marketing. To tell the world your story, visit SaturnLounge.com today.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after. An in-depth recap of every Bucs game. In 6 minutes. No more? No less. Bucs in 6 on the Bucs Plus Audio Network. If you missed any of the game or just want to relive the biggest moments, Bucs in 6 provides game recaps every morning after. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis or the deep threes from Miles Turner. And catch the comments post-game about what happened on the court. Bucs in 6 on the Bucs Plus Audio Network. Find it now on Bucs.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know, I couldn't stop talking about it to my family and friends. My knees are my trouble spot. But for me to tell them now that I'm doing so much better, they were amazed, and I've been amazed.
QC Kinetics Cellular Therapies. Yes, it is amazing how these non-surgical treatments deliver joint pain relief for patients like Dr. Eric Williams, a successful chiropractor.
Each week, I just started noticing that I could sleep and not have pain. I could play pickleball. I could do a CrossFit exercise routine.
QC Kinetics revitalizes your joints so you can move again. again without the pain pills or invasive surgery.
You know, I'm 60 years old and I want to stay competitive as long as I can. And QC has allowed me to do that. They did me right and really made a difference in my life.
Book your free consultation with QC Kinetics today and experience the difference for yourself.
I like to go, move, move, move.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
Potawatomi Casino Hotel wants to extend a sincere thank you to our guests and bingo players. With your generosity, this year's Heart of Canal Street event raised more than $700,000, helping 30 children's charities across southeastern Wisconsin. For more than 30 years, Heart of Canal Street has partnered with hundreds of local organizations to give children safe spaces, resources, and opportunities to thrive. Thank you for sharing your heart. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
Did you know Professional Construction Inc. has an in-house team of interior designers? We're excited to bring our expertise to you with our brand new virtual interior design program. Maybe you're not ready for a full construction project, but you are ready to refresh that outdated room. Our PCI design team creates stunning photorealistic renderings, a mood board, and a curated shopping list, all delivered to you in just days.
For all your construction and design needs,
visit professionalconstructioninc.com.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's finally game day.
Bears rush 4. Willis floats one deep. He's got Doubs. He's got it. Touchdown, Green Bay.
And the countdown to kickoff starts now.
He's going to throw it. Oh, pressure in his face. Fires, and it is caught. A strike for Willis to Musgrave. 4th and less than 1. Willis going to keep it. He's going to get it in more. Malik Willis showing you the speed. That's a good play call.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Here's Alex Strouf.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Rolls on live from the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. It is Week 17 in the NFL, and just because we have a new member of the panel, I'm going to do it again, Gabe. I apologize in advance.
See, but he liked the joke last week. He's going to roll his eyes this week.
Live from Green Bay, it's Saturday night.
You just never know when to quit, man.
While you're ahead.
It's less funny each time.
He's the opposite of Costanza.
I am the ultimate beat a dead horse while it's dead.
He is not going to leave on a high note. You got to hook him off the stage.
That horse is dead. It's dog food right now.
Yep.
Move on.
That is Jason Wilde joining us for the Jason Wilde Hour at the Tundra Trio. Steve Scaffidi hanging around for another segment. Gabe Neitzel, Alex.
Just to see Jason.
Just to see Jason. Well, what's on your mind for Jason?
Thank you for your service.
I appreciate. I love listening to Jason. I find myself doing it a lot more as the season goes on. I guess my question for you is Malik Willis. I mean, this is his moment to be the guy because last week we weren't expecting that. This is his moment at Lambeau Field. I'm actually looking forward to watching him play tonight.
I'm excited for him. You know, I've covered a lot of players in my 30th season, and a lot of them talk about the Lord, God, all this stuff. I'm not always sure, especially when I hear some of the stories about them and their off-the-field behavior, how devout they might be.
Shout out Eugene Robinson.
I didn't mention anybody by name.
For the record.
But he'd be on the list. But anyway, he is at least from what I can gather, a very authentic person. And I will admit, there are times when he talks about his faith where I'm kind of like, okay, but I kind of need to know what happened on 3rd and 3, right? But he, the way he talks about kind of the God's plan and everything else, he is a remarkable reclamation project. And how, remember, this guy was a highly touted recruit coming out of high school, went to high school with Xavier McKinney, started out at Auburn, didn't really get opportunities there, goes to Liberty, ends up being drafted where most quarterbacks' careers seem to go to die, right? I mean, think about Marcus Mariota, on and on and on. Like, I wish Cam Ward nothing but the best with whoever becomes their next coach. Maybe Matt LaFleur, if anybody's dumb enough to move on from him.
But, I mean, Jason, you had Taylor Lewan saying on national television, this guy doesn't know ball. Jen Latta talking to somebody within the organization saying he struggles with basic concepts of football. So how does he go from that to... I mean, I think he's going to get opportunity to start somewhere next year.
So I would counter that by something that Marcus Mariota talked about, where basically they just sort of told him to go make it up as they went along in that offense. If you remember that story from earlier this season. Yeah. I don't know if it was with Bussin' with the boys or where he told that. But, like, again, situation matters. Like, our guy Tausch is an amazing story, right? He is one of the all-time great stories in this team's 100 and whatever year history for a 7th-round pick. But remember the situation, right? He thought he was going to get drafted by Seattle. He could have been in and out of the league in 2 years, right? Instead, Earl Dotson's back locks up. He gets an opportunity as a rookie. Now he deserves, and he would tell you, I would tell you this about him, he deserves all the credit in the world for what he did with his opportunity. But you are so at the whim of what opportunities you get. And that place, I'm sorry, that place is a train wreck in Tennessee. And so, and the thing that I think tells you that that was inaccurate to describe him that way is how quickly he picked up a limited playbook, and then the way he played in Jacksonville, which was not just a limited playbook, and then the way he played all preseason, which I understand you keep it vanilla, but he was magnificent this summer. The way he played in Chicago, I mean, again, as we talked about during the week, the weird thing about the Chicago game is you say this about him, you say this about the defense, you say this about all these guys. Oh, what a great night until it wasn't. Until it wasn't. Right? Yeah. And so I think this is one of the problems with, like, if you don't get to the right situation, I don't know what his next situation is going to be, right? If it's not a good situation, we have seen other backup quarterbacks get opportunities, shine with the team they're with, get an opportunity elsewhere, and it doesn't work again. So I'm fascinated by this, but I am authentically happy for him.
I'm intrigued what the game plan is tonight. He threw the ball 11 times last week. That's kind of about the same number in the 2 starts he had last year. They don't throw the ball a ton when he's in. But Josh Jacobs, as we learned a little bit earlier in the program, not on the injury report at all anymore, which I didn't see coming this season. I'm confused about. So
yeah, I am too, especially based on the conversation we had with him earlier in the week where he talked about the fact that, remember, 6:37 left in the third quarter. He fumbles.
And we don't see him again.
Well, we see him again. We see him on the onside kick team on the onside kick, which, again, seems like an odd place to put him if you're not going to play him at all at running back. And he didn't necessarily.
Hey, after the catch he made 2 weeks ago in Denver, I'm good with him on the hands team.
Right. Again, I don't know what happened there, but he was clearly irritated. Like Bill Huber followed up at one point on one of my questions saying, look, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you seem annoyed or irritated. And he basically said yes. And then we get Steno saying, I want him on the field all the time. We got LaFleur basically kind of, but not really, saying that, like, Ben Sermons held him out. Like, again, I'm not exactly sure how that all played out, but if you want to punish a guy for fumbling, fine. That's usually a series. If you're concerned about his knee, fine. But then how the hell is he completely off the injury report this week? That's the part I don't understand.
Well, that's I'm always confused how stuff like that happens because, look, I understand punishing somebody for fumbling. You don't punish Josh Jacobs.
Not Josh Jacobs.
Totally agree.
Like that's not the guy. If he's a first, second-year player, hey, you got to know that's not acceptable.
Green, you punish him if you're Mike Holmgren in Seattle.
But Josh Jacobs?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that. I just assumed he was hurt. I just assumed he was hurt when I didn't see him for the rest of the game.
But I guess why I bring that up in all of this said is we shouldn't expect him to have any shortage of opportunities then tonight. Josh Jacobs, that is.
Again, I wouldn't think so, right? And you want to make sure that you are giving Malik Willis the best chance to succeed, which, by the way, is not that different than what LaFleur does with Jordan Love. I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum. When is he going to let her rip? When is he going to give more opportunities to throw the football? So, and that's the thing that I would argue about Malik Willis is I don't think he goes into tonight with some sort of light version of the playbook. If anything, I think it's got additional things in it which allow him to use his legs, which we saw him do.
Sure.
I mean, he ran 10 times in that game in Chicago, and I think he could have thrown it more often. And by the way, let's give him some credit, too. I mean, he suffers that shoulder injury at the end of regulation. And that throw that he makes
ripped it to
Jaden Reed was pretty darned impressive.
Yeah.
What about Matty Gold? He's been
Matty
here.
Gold.
He's been here all year. That's my name for him, not no one else's.
Matthew Golden.
Yes.
Okay.
Matty Gold. So I called him that on draft night. So he's had, like that.
Does
rookies.
he know that?
No, I've never met him.
If you want to let him know, feel free.
Yeah,
I'll bounce that off of him next time.
He's had sort of that rookie season where he hasn't scored a touchdown. He's got about 300 yards passing on receptions. What is he saying, or how does, if you had a chance to talk to him, or is he coming out and talking? What's he saying about this year?
Yeah, I've talked to him a few times, and I talked to him right before the Bears game here, and he was clearly frustrated. I think we talked about this on your show. He was frustrated with opportunities. He was frustrated with his injuries. Like, he hurts his shoulder, then the shoulder starts to feel better, and he hurts his wrist, and so it has not gone according to plan. And I'll give Matthew Golden this, that he remembered a conversation he and I had earlier in the year about what Davante Adams had gone through as a rookie. And look, Davante is one of my guys. That I don't, I'm still working to cultivate more of them since they're so young now after the last 4 years and 2 years outside the locker room with COVID. But he was frustrated his rookie year. He thought he would, but he had 3 big games, right? And that's all you can, you have to be realistic. And I thought Matthew Golden, he had a big game, was at Cincinnati early in the year, I think. Then he had, a couple weeks ago, again, big opportunities. And then we get to Chicago, they didn't do anything again. Very few opportunities. The weird thing about Chicago was there's 2 weeks previous to that where Romeo Doubs is a ghost. And then he's the go-to guy. Another one of those guys had a great night until he didn't.
Yeah, totally.
So I think, I would hope that there aren't Packers fans that are disappointed in Matthew Golden, because I think this is more of an injury and opportunity, and I don't. But the problem is, and he knows this, he mentioned it to me, and I had to go look it up to confirm it. Tedero McMillan, Emeka Ibuka, the 2 wide receivers that went before him, both leading their teams in receptions and yards.
I'm not disappointed in Matthew Golden. I'm disappointed with the way he's been used at times.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I feel like he should have gotten more opportunities.
Lack thereof, yeah.
And they just haven't. Again, whether then the injury comes in and plays certainly a part in that as the season goes along, but I also feel like as much as I do like Matt LaFleur, I feel like one of my criticisms for him this year were, as it seemed like he was starting to build some momentum. You mentioned Cincinnati was however long ago. Didn't highlight anything, didn't do anything, and try to get him more involved after that.
So here's the thing, and look, Jordan Love, again, I've told you guys a bunch of times, like, if I was on that team, first of all, they would struggle offensively.
Wait, you don't have an extensive playbook? Is that what we're saying?
I could maybe run out to the flat and then hurriedly get out of bounds for 2 or 3 yards. But I would love to play with him as my quarterback. Like, all my history with Aaron, I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be yelled at, right? The best way to motivate me is, hey, come on, I know you're better than this. I need more from you. And that's kind of how Jordan leads. Jordan Love does not say negative things about guys. And he said this, and I thought this was really interesting. He said it as a compliment, but it was also very telling. He talked about a couple weeks ago how much Matthew Golden's route running had improved and how much more precision there was.
Oh, okay.
And when the quarterback says that, again, I'm not sure it's on the head coach and the play caller, because if the quarterback's saying that, we saw it. Let's think back to Philly in the playoff game. Like, Jordan Love's the one who ends up with 3 interceptions on his resume, but on one of them, Malik Heath runs an 18-yard route at like 14 yards. Like, that stuff really matters. And if Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love don't feel like Matthew Golden could be at that time trusted to be running the route correctly, then you may have your answer on why he didn't get more opportunities.
Interesting.
Price of gold's going up next year.
I thought it was silver that was going up right now.
I don't know about. I think it's.
I don't pay attention.
Silver and gold.
Now and now he's got a peppermint mine. It's our guy Yukon Cornelius. For those of you that didn't get that reference, wow, silver and gold. Yes, sorry.
Steve, hope to see you back here in 2 weeks.
That would be nice because I always love coming up to Lambeau Field. It's one of my favorite places on earth, and I've been to a lot of places on earth.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
He has. He's a world traveler. It's game day. You're heading up to Green Bay. Make a quick stop at Higher Love Cannabis Company, just over the border in Menominee, Michigan. Less than an hour from Green Bay. Award-winning, locally owned, organically grown, the best in the Midwest. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD. That's findhigherlove.com/CBD for more information. The Jason Wilde Hour of Green Bay Game Day continues right after this.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
At every meeting, at every new beginning, at every celebration, we make better happen. At Cousin Subs, better is more than just a word. It's a promise we serve at every party. Our customizable party boxes, box lunches, party chips, and dozen cookie boxes offer the options you need to please any crowd. Whatever the occasion, we will never settle for being just good enough. Order on our mobile app or online at cousinsubs.com. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Homer here for Window Nation's end of the year sale. It's cold here in Milwaukee, and if you've been thinking about new windows, it's good you waited, because during Window Nation's end of the year sale, get 50% off, plus you could get 0% interest for 5 years on windows that stop the cold wintry drafts, seal out moisture, and so energy efficient you'll save money on your utility bills. Installed in 1 day, lifetime warranty, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Sale ends soon. Don't miss out on big savings. WindowNation.com to get started.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 41. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Experience the excellence of Catholic Memorial High School for yourself. Come see how students gain a competitive edge at CMH. Visit CatholicMemorial.net to schedule a VIP tour or Student Shadow Day. Meet the inspiring teachers, welcoming students, and feel the energy of the CMH culture, where all students achieve more than they ever imagined possible. Visit CatholicMemorial.net to schedule your visit. That's CatholicMemorial.net. Catholic Memorial High School in Waukesha, where you rise.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Run 40% alcohol by volume.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, and Jason Wilde with it in the Jason Wilde Hour of Green Bay Game Day. We're live at the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field, the final regular season home game for Green Bay today as the Packers play host to the Baltimore Ravens and likely the backup quarterback bowl. We about 25 or so minutes away from learning Lamar Jackson's status.
I think we're 3 minutes away. This is a 7 o'clock kick.
7:20.
7 o'clock, sir.
Am I wrong about this?
It is a 7 o'clock kick.
Oh, my goodness. Where have I been?
I don't know. 7 o'clock. Reserve only for Peacock.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, well, we're moments away from learning about Lamar Jackson's status.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's not like I have anything to say about you not knowing what time
Thank you.
the game was starting.
I appreciate that. Appreciate somebody having my back, at least at their own expense. So we'll have the injury report for you in moments. I totally thought it was a 7:20 kick tonight here on Green Bay Game Day. But I guess how much does the game plan change for Jeff Hafley? Because you're planning all week with a doubtful designation. Are you kind of planning for both? Are you spending more time on Huntley and Derrick Henry than you would maybe a Lamar Jackson, who obviously poses such a great dual threat? Like, how does he spend his week, I guess, is kind of what I'm trying to ask.
Great question. First of all, I don't, again, a little bit like the Packers and Malik Willis, I don't think their offense changes a lot. Now, look, no one's going to sit here and go, Tyler Huntley is the equivalent of Lamar Jackson. For one, he apparently stays awake in meetings. That story was, and notice the denials that came out of Baltimore. Like Mike Preston has been there a really long time. He's kind of like their Oatesy, Tom Oates, who was obviously extremely well respected in Madison. And there was nothing that was like, this is patently false.
They have an A-plus relationship, Jason. The coach and quarterback have an A-plus relationship.
Well, they have a great relationship. He just doesn't like his work ethic or how many video games he plays or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Look, he is uber talented. Like, Tyler Huntley is fantastic in the commercial where he has to come in as the backup and discuss the birds and the bees. He's a very good. He's another very good backup.
Yes.
He had that year in Miami. He's back. He came back to Baltimore. That was smart of them. Was he in Cleveland briefly?
He was in Cleveland briefly, and what was not smart of them is riding with Cooper Rush for as long as they did.
Right.
Because he was the backup, even though they had Huntley back this year, and then they finally go to him against the Bears. They win that game by 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
But
to answer your question, I don't think it's a vastly different planning process. They know they have to, A, defend Derrick Henry, and B, try and get the ball out against him, right? He's had some issues with that this year. And then secondly, their passing game's not going to be vastly different. You know that their tight ends are good. You know that Zay Flowers is good. And obviously, Jeff Hafley knows Zay Flowers very well. He coached him at Boston College.
Well, and you mentioned Derrick Henry. Both these teams, again, the mirror images of last week, both are likely going to have backup quarterbacks today. Both have really good running backs who were inexplicably not on the field late in the game because they completely, apparently, I don't know if they just forgot that Derrick Henry existed last week when he's got 18 carries for 125 yards and for the last 8 minutes of game time isn't on the field. As one of those possessions, they're trying to run out the clock and run as much time off, and they don't give him the football. So I'm expecting to see a heavy dosage of Derrick Henry tonight, and I think that means it's going to be a big game for the linebackers once again. It's a big game for Quay Walker to step up and be able to try to do what they've done all season against the run.
Today's injury report is brought to you by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. You can visit the website, orthowisconsin.com. Today for info, that is orthowisconsin.com. Well, let's actually start with the Baltimore side because it is official. It will be the backup quarterback bowl as Lamar Jackson is inactive for the Baltimore Ravens. It will be Tyler Huntley starting at quarterback tonight for Baltimore. On the Green Bay side, we already knew Jordan Love was inactive. Joining him on the inactive list is right tackle Zach Tom, who will miss his second straight game. Wide receiver Savion Williams, defensive lineman Nazir Stackhouse, Barron Sorrell, and Colin Oliver all join them as the inactives today. But that does bring one piece of good news, and that is safety Evan Williams will make his return tonight for Green Bay after missing last week's game in Chicago.
Yeah, he told me he was going to play this week. I said,
he didn't lie to you.
I said, okay. Was that off the record? He said, yes. I said, okay. So
it's
now
no longer off the record.
No longer off the record. He's playing.
Is that off the record? Yes. Okay.
Well, we were talking about something else, and I was like, wait a minute. Oh, so I was going to talk to his dad and his brother for a story I was doing, and I said,
sure.
Hey, I just don't want you. I haven't called them. I don't want you to think that I blew off the story. I know you have more important things to worry about, but if you're not playing, then I'm not going to write it until you're back out there. He's like, well, I'll be back out there this week. Okay, was that on the record or off the record? Off. Okay, but look, I'm not surprised by Zach Tom. I'm not surprised, Christian. What I am curious about is how certain players play tonight with this illness that worked its way through their locker room, including Malik Willis, who dealt with it earlier in the week and missed one day of practice, which, when you're the backup and you're going to be getting snaps, not ideal.
Not great, yeah.
Right?
Not great.
And I also think, and look, I don't know, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist or any of those things because I don't want to cause, I was very surprised by the news yesterday that Jordan Love was being downgraded out. Now, again, Matt LaFleur had said that, I've had it before where guys are trending in the right direction, and then suddenly they show up and they have symptoms. Now, I was told, and I don't know what Rob told you earlier today, but I was told that he did not suddenly have onset of symptoms again. That he just did not finish the protocol.
So that's what
Rob
told
said.
us.
Yeah, it was that he just didn't clear protocol.
Because I asked, and I said this might be a dumb question because I do believe in dumb questions, and I do ask them. Yes, exactly.
Me too.
And the dumb question I asked was, did the Vikings winning on Christmas have any effect on Jordan Love's status for tonight? Right, solidifying the playoff spot. And he said his understanding is he just didn't clear protocol.
Right, and what I would say is that it certainly gives you the plausible deniability to just say, yeah, he didn't clear the protocol.
Sure.
Right? Now, you know that they're not going to have the two-time NFL MVP quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they're kind of teetering on the brink. And I'm not saying that the Packers aren't trying to win the game. They obviously are. And you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I look at the Bears' remaining schedule, and it is not hard for me to envision them losing both those games.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Packers are saying, "Oh, we're in the playoffs, doesn't matter." I think they're confident. You could wonder if they're confident in Malik Willis. They know what they're up against tonight. They're at home. They had some reluctance about where Jordan was, but the weird thing was that he took part in all the practices, and he was in the locker room a bunch. Giving out his Christmas presents, joking around with the guys. He did not behave in the manner that you would expect from a guy who is probably not going to play because of concussion.
And while all concussions aren't created equal, I mean, concussions to me in the NFL in 2025 are as black and white as injuries get. Either you cleared the protocol or you didn't clear the protocol.
Yeah, that's true.
As we've experienced with how many players this year trying to push through injuries, that's just not allowed with a concussion.
Right.
You're either cleared or you're not. And I guess I just say, okay, he's not cleared. We're on to Malik.
Right, and again, you have a guy that you believe in. So if there's any sort of maybe not, I don't know all the final hurdles about exertion and everything that he has to do. But look, he did not clear the protocol. That is what happened.
Back contusion's a little bit more confusing. Sorry, Gabe, go ahead.
As long as we're talking about quarterbacks, isn't it a 0% chance Malik's back here next year?
So
I know you don't want to operate in the Homer, 0-100 absolutes.
Not. I don't know about that. Because I am guilty of this all the time. I always have an inflated opinion of guys that I cover. Because I see all the good, and I mean, I do see the bad, certainly, too. But, like, with Malik Willis, like, he didn't play great in that Chicago game in the finale. He still got him in position to win the game. Right?
I was about to say, even if he didn't play great.
Right. They kicked the go-ahead field goal with less than a minute left. So my point is that I don't want to overestimate what he could draw on the open market. I did float to him the idea of, well, look, the Bears got Badgett to sign an extension. Is that something you'd be open to? And he basically said, look, I'm a competitor. Going back to his faith, whatever God has planned for me. And, like, look, maybe he doesn't get a lot of interest, right? Maybe he.
I find that hard to believe.
I do too. Well, but again, the league has a history of a lot of guys that like Matt Flynn, right? Like Matt Flynn was Malik Willis before Malik Willis.
That's correct. Yep.
Right. And yet he goes to a place, and this is what could happen to Malik too. You go to a place that doesn't have a quarterback, then they draft a quarterback. That guy has a good off-season, and suddenly now you're back to being a backup. And you're not in a place where you had all.
Is that what they call that in the league? The old Matt Flynn? Is that what they call that?
I don't think anybody calls it that.
I think we should start that.
Me.
Matt Flynn has probably it might be my favorite tweet of all time. When somebody had just randomly tweeted, "Hey, remember when the Seahawks gave Matt Flynn all that money?" He wasn't tagged or anything. He just responded, "Yeah, that was awesome."
He's one of
I thought we were going to go down a Mitch Trubisky path there, and you had me worried. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, he just responded, "No, that was awesome."
That was awesome.
When the Seahawks gave me all of that money.
Yeah, well.
But again, not that I'm expecting somebody to go, "Oh, Malik, you're going to be our guy next year."
Right.
But I would expect him to get low-end starter money and an opportunity to compete. And another reason why I feel that way, Jason, is because this quarterback draft class isn't going to be nearly as good as what people thought it was going to be heading into the college football season. So there aren't going to be as many quarterbacks available at the top of the draft, middle part of the draft. So there are going to be some teams going, well, we still need somebody.
Right.
All right, let's go grab this guy who has looked good just about every time he stepped down the field.
Think about all the teams that are going to need quarterbacks, too, right? Arizona's going to move on from Kyler Murray more than likely. Miami's going to move on from Tua more than likely.
Which could also impact, though, like, again, when you're a first-round pick, like, no matter what you've done, everyone always thinks, well, once we get our hands on him, he's going to be different.
So you're looking at Malik Willis as a glorified first-round pick because he was an early second-rounder, wasn't he?
No, he was a third-round pick.
It's one of the best Taushisms out there.
Right. Yeah, and it's true. First-round picks constantly have to prove they don't belong in the league. Seventh-round picks have to constantly prove that they do. So what I'm saying about Malik Willis is, Tua's going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, he's going to go one of those openings.
And Kyler Murray's going to go somewhere else. So it's going to be a musical chairs thing. Again, I am not, as much as I enjoy Malik in the locker room, he's Sydney's favorite player, which I find fascinating. She was wearing her jersey when I left to come here. She's going to be asleep by the time the game starts.
She has a Malik Willis jersey?
She does, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So my point is that he should. I wouldn't go 100% he's gone.
Yeah.
But I would think so. But again, the one thing I would caution him on, and I would say this to his face, and he'd say, "Thank you, Jason, but I don't really need your advice," would be that, look, make sure it's the right situation.
Yep.
Right? Go to a place with a good coach, with a good system. Don't go somewhere where you have to be the hero to save them, because that's not a great recipe.
Well, because, again, I think we're seeing what we're going to see tonight is how valuable that backup quarterback position can be. And you just look across the field, and you wonder how differently tonight's game might be had they gone to Snoop Huntley earlier in the season instead of trying to ride it out as long as they did.
Dude's been to a Pro Bowl. Like, say what you want about the Pro Bowl, but he did end up in one. And I would spend money on that position. Because especially with, Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone twice.
Yep.
Right? Brett Favre never missed anything. We all know that. But boy, in 2025,
it's a different world.
The fact that they escaped the season with Sean Clifford as the backup as a rookie. Remember, that's what they did in 2023. They were very fortunate. That was a risky move.
Sure was. Hey, Tito's Handmade Vodka, America's favorite vodka for a reason, distilled 6 times till it's just right. Tito, known for great vodka, giving back and doing good for dogs. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly. An abbreviated version of the world's greatest radio game.
It's the best news I've heard all day.
It kind of helps you out by derailing us and having a Malik conversation there.
Yes or no with Jason Wilde is coming up next on Green Bay Game Day.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
One of the best things about the holidays is going home and spending time with family and friends. One of the worst things, getting there. Holiday travel can be tough, especially driving. If you or a loved one needs help after an accident this holiday season, we're here for you. Our top-notch team of experienced professionals is available 24/7. Be safe this holiday season. Gruber Offices. One call, that's all.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
As the year winds down, we all pause to take stock of where we've been and where we want to go next. If finishing your degree has been on your mind, this could be your moment. At Lakeland University, education fits real life with flexible evening and online classes, credit for your work and life experiences, and multiple start dates so you don't have to wait. Earn your degree 100% online, close to home at one of our 6 Wisconsin centers, or on our residential campus in Sheboygan County. This next year, invest in what matters most. You. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
College hockey fans, get ready because the ice is heating up in Milwaukee for the Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off. 4 powerhouse programs, 2 action-packed days, 1 champion. It's Wisconsin, Boston College, Lake Superior State, and the defending national champion, Western Michigan. Battling it out December 28th and 29th at Fiserv Forum. Feel every bone-rattling hit and every clutch goal as these elite programs collide for holiday bragging rights. Tickets are moving fast. Grab yours today at Ticketmaster.com or the Fiserv Forum box office. The Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off. 4 teams, 1 trophy. Who will own the ice?
Time's running out. It's the final chance of 2025 to save big at the Last Call Savings Event. This month at Cunis, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on select new vehicles across multiple brands. Or take advantage of huge discounts and rebates on all new in-stock cars, trucks, and SUVs from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Thinking pre-owned? Check your local dealer website for a new selection of discounted pre-owned super specials and shop our group-wide inventory of over 700 pre-owned under 20 grand and over 300 under 10 grand. Plus, we have great service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes. Hurry in. When 2025 ends, so do the savings. Start your search today at shopcunis.com. 0% APR financing for 60 months on select models with approved credit through OEM lenders. Not all buyers qualify. Rate set by lender with approval subject to buyer insurability. 0% for 60 months equals $1,667 for $1,000 finance. Excludes tax, title, license, and $499 dealer service fee. Offer ends 1/5/26.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day continues live from the Central Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. I'm Alex Strouf alongside Mr. Worldwide Gabe Neitzel and the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde. And it wouldn't be Green Bay Game Day for maybe the final time in person in 2025 without, I'm sick of both of you. Yes or no with Jason Wilde.
Will today be the day there are black and white answers from our most respected journalist?
Possibly. I think we shouldn't be greedy. Maybe. You would certainly hope so.
It's time for Yes or No with Jason Wilde.
Let's start here after a bad performance last week for him. Yes or no, Keyshawn Nixon, the Packer, that needs to bounce back most tonight against Baltimore?
Who else would be in the running for that?
Romeo Doubs.
Look, I wish I had more information on what happened on the game-tying touchdown, because it feels to me like that's the one play. And I'm not saying it escaped scrutiny, but like we kind of didn't pay. Like it was fourth down.
Yep.
Like you get that. Like it is totally Seattle 2.0. This time there were like 5 things as opposed to 9 things that had to go wrong. But that's one of them. You got the stop on third down. You stop them there. You've got a great play call, right? I mean, Brenton Cox is in Caleb Williams' lap. He's got his hands on him as he throws that ball. If there's anybody even in the same zip code, that it's over.
I was expecting at some point this week somebody would have said something about what happened, much like the 2015 Arizona game, where everybody thought it was Julius Peppers' fault that that Larry Fitzgerald broke free in the playoff game in overtime, and like almost immediately, and that was in a playoff game. It's not like we had an entire week for someone to come clean. No, we found out that week, like, no, Julius just happened to be there because he was trying to cover for somebody else. That ain't on Julius.
Right.
I was hoping that somebody would go, hey, here's what's supposed to happen. Here's why it didn't happen. But for whatever reason, that didn't happen.
We were told that it's schematic that they didn't want to say because they don't want you. But it sure looked to me like those two are supposed to switch, and Nixon's supposed to go with Walker. That's how it looked to me. I don't play Madden. I don't know enough about all these types of newfangled routes, but that's sure how it looked to me.
Why'd you point at me when?
Because you're young.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't play Madden?
No, the only video game I play is WWE.
Okay. Didn't see that one coming.
Love the WWE video games. Love them. All right, we will wrap up. That's just one today. Just one for you today.
That's because you didn't. That's because you mismanaged the clock. You thought the game
totally mismanaged the clock. Yeah, thought the game started at 7:20. It's a 7 o'clock. Why would they change that? It was 7:20 last week.
This is why you have to read the entire press release when they send them out.
Shut up,
Gabe. It's
Gabe.
the beginning. It's like the first thing.
Look, all right, I'll admit, not one of my proudest moments in my radio career.
Sure.
Well, we've all had them.
Bungling the game time on the pregame show. Kind of an important detail when you're doing this gig.
In fairness to me, I at least knew what time the game was
Correct.
the week I showed up late.
You just didn't know what time you were on.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're not a mistake-free program. We've never claimed to be.
No. It's an imperfect game. That's what LaFleur always tells us.
Yeah. It's an imperfect pregame show, which continues right after this as we wrap up the Jason Wilde Hour on Green Bay Game Day.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
The grill is hot, the crowd is loud, and the flavor? That's all Coop's Mustard. Hey, it's Alex Strouf. For over 125 years, Coop's has been the MVP of Game Day Eats with 14 bold flavors that make every brat, burger, and pretzel a championship bite. Because Coop's isn't your ordinary mustard. It's extraordinary mustard. The kind that turns tailgates into traditions and touchdowns into taste bud celebrations. This football season, bring the bold, bring the flavor, bring Coop's. Coop's Mustard, spreading the love since 1897.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 4-1. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
At every meeting, at every new beginning, at every celebration, we make better happen. At Cousin Subs, better is more than just a word. It's a promise we serve at every party. Our customizable party boxes, box lunches, party chips, and dozen cookie boxes offer the options you need to please any crowd. Whatever the occasion, we will never settle for being just good enough. Order on our mobile app or online at cousinsubs.com. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
People say buying a home in winter is tough.
But fewer buyers means less competition, and motivated sellers can mean better opportunities.
This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. When the perfect home appears, our team at Tony Wendorf & Associates helps you move fast, even during the snow.
Start your home journey today with our white glove service by simply searching online Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
When storms hit or accidents happen, it's not just about property, it's about people. I'm Mandy Grimal-Lococo with Grimal & Associates Insurance. We help families bundle home, auto, and life coverage so you're never facing life's what-ifs alone. With the heavy rains we've seen in Milwaukee, we'll review your policy to be sure water backup, sump pump failures, and flood risks don't drain your wallet. Your home is more than walls and a roof, it's where life happens. At Grimal & Associates Insurance in Shorewood, we're here to protect your home, your family, and your peace of mind. Call us today at 414-332-0838.
Kick off the new year with a smarter home and bigger savings with Exterior Pros and Baths. New windows to lock in the warmth, durable roofing, eye-catching siding, or a stunning bath makeover. Start the year off right and get $3,000 off your project. That's right, $3,000 back in your pocket during our New Year Savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. This deal won't last all winter. Exterior Pros and Baths. New year, new home, done right.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
And free groceries.
Okay, just calm down. We'll get to that later.
Stay tuned in right here to score free groceries.
Stop, please.
Okay, I'm shutting up. My lip is zipped.
Let's get to this week's specials at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 16-ounce selected varieties, Frito-Lay kettle or potato chips, Doritos, or rolled gold pretzels, 2 for $6. 8-pack or 64-ounce selected varieties, Mott's apple juice, 2 for $6. 8-ounce selected varieties, McCormick cocktail or tartar sauce, $2.29. 16-ounce selected varieties, Dots pretzels, $4.99.
And now time for the big reveal. Free groceries.
2 over the top.
Free from Century Foods.
Forget it. I'll handle the rest. Enter to win $500 worth of free groceries on Century's Facebook or Instagram by December 31st.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Couple minutes left in the Jason Wilde Hour. Green Bay Game Day, just over an hour away from kickoff here at Lambeau Field. It's Packers and Ravens, Week 17 of the NFL season, the regular season home finale for Green Bay.
Do you think they're going to host a game? Do you think they're going to get the number 2 or 3 seed?
I don't, but I'm holding out hope.
You've kind of talked as if you're giving your
It's the regular season home finale.
Your hope.
I mean, they could get the 6th seed and in theory host the NFC Championship game.
Sure, hey. I respect your
optimism,
keeping hope alive.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I'm hopeful. I don't think the Lions can beat the Bears at this point.
I'll say this: if there's one coach that I think can get his guys up to prove a point,
we talked about this off the air a little bit because I said the same thing, right? Like that's a guy who he's not just going to ship it in for the season. Dan Campbell, that is the coach of the Lions.
Ship it in? Is that a saying?
It can be.
Is that not a saying?
I think it's mail it in.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Yeah. Well, it's Christmas time. I'm thinking of Amazon and Peacock. I don't know, man.
What did you just say?
Well, Amazon is a streaming service.
Like
Peacock,
those hip musicians and their complicated shoes.
I am not having I'm not having a good hour.
I'm so glad I came here today.
I mean,
so my point is that
he's not going to mail it in.
Well, right, but I think we have seen this with Nick Sirianni, and now I do think that there's been. You're the national guy, so I will defer to you. But
he hates
there's a little. No, it's true. He's so good at what he does.
He is so good at what he does. That's why he hates me.
Guess what? If it makes him uncomfortable, think about how uncomfortable I am around his dad after I kept calling him Keith. We all have uncomfortable things.
And you didn't pay him.
And then didn't pay him.
I paid him.
Late.
I gotta call him. I really, those lights that aren't working outside are a real problem. Anyway, so when I look at Dan Campbell, I see a guy who now he stripped the play calling duties from the replacement of Ben Johnson. Their defense wasn't terrible, but like it really does go to show that a lot of times you're only as good as how good your assistants are and how good your coordinators are.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. Like you mentioned the Sirianni thing, I think it kind of happened when they lost both those coordinators and they completely fell apart. Now, they still made the playoffs, but they got embarrassed in that wild card round a couple of seasons ago.
And now they got people egging the guy's house, the guy who replaced Kellen Moore when he got the job in New Orleans.
Yep.
We're right back in the same place.
Correct. And Philly's going through a lot of those same things. Now, the defense is still mostly fine over there.
Because Vic Fangio's still there.
But they've got some big decisions that they're going to have to make this offseason because Dan Campbell doesn't want to call plays. If Dan Campbell wanted to call plays, A, he would have done it from the start.
Right.
Or B, he would have said, you know what, this year I'm going to call plays. He doesn't want to do that.
Right. No, he doesn't. And he did.
And he felt like he had to.
And sometimes it worked out great.
After listening to this conversation, it just makes me really hope Jeff Hafley doesn't take a job next year.
Now, here's the thing. As bad as your show has been, and it has been bad, that is exactly where I was going to end, was that point right there. Like, again, Matt LaFleur has gone through special teams coordinators. From what I can understand, some on the panel earlier would like to have another change, which I don't think is an unreasonable position for fans to hold. Let me be clear on that. I think that when you look at Mike Pettin, you look at Joe Barry, like you've seen the difference that having a really good defensive coordinator makes. Even if you're okay during those other seasons, Mike Pettin was a pretty good coordinator.
Mike Pettin, yeah.
Right? But I think Jeff Hafley has been at another level. And
For sure.
So I'll be very curious to see because, again, the one thing, kind of like our Malik Willis discussion earlier, the one thing I would say is if I'm Jeff Hafley, just like Malik Willis, don't just jump at any job, at any opportunity. If it's the Giants and you get to go home, great.
Well, but what's interesting is I'm not sure how many jobs are actually going to be available. I know. I think I saw Scaffidi, put the over/under. I think at 5.5 if he had to. But again, a lot of these jobs are okay. Is Cincinnati going to be open, or is Mike Brown going to continue to be cheap and he doesn't want to pay two coaches?
No, I thought I had seen something that said that that Zach Taylor
would be back.
Yeah. So there's one job that you thought might be open. It's not going to be open. Who knows what happens with Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland? He's won a couple of Coach of the Years. Are they going to run him out of time? I don't know. I don't think, as we sit here with 2 weeks left in the regular season, there's a lot of clear-cut jobs that are going to be open other than the two that are already open.
Yep, that's fair.
Well, I hope you're right.
And again, the less amount of jobs that are available, the more likely it is Jeff Hafley's still here.
I like the way you speak, Gabe Neitzel. I like the way you speak. And somebody that never ships it in is Jason Wilde. Jason, good stuff as always. We'll be listening to you on Green Bay Game Night. And on Monday, Wilde and Tash beginning at 9 a.m. Thanks.
The Wilde Hour, presented by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Something like that, I guess. Plenty still to cover in the 6 o'clock hour of Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ. We will have our Lakeland University trivia question, our Gruber Law Office's one call, our Island Resort and Casino best bets, and our final thoughts ahead of Packers-Ravens here in the regular season home finale at Lambeau Field.
At 7 o'clock.
Which is at 7 o'clock. Hour 3, Green Bay Game Day is next.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Hey Wisconsin, it's football season and that means it's time to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. 100% Blue Weber agave, all natural and so smooth it's criminal. Try the award-winning Blanco, Reposado, and Yeho and the new high-proof Plata 47. Ask for El Bandito Yankee at your favorite bar or restaurant and buy it today at Woodman's and Festival Foods. And for tailgates, recipes, and more places for purchase, go to elbanditoyankee.com.
Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beating 3. Yeah, you know the feeling. And there's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration. Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Become a legend at Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info online. Must be 21 to enter casino.
Ho, 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 my back.
Santa?
Ho, 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 Gina Della from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Yes. Next year, how about just asking for a Pella gift card? My elves are used to designing windows from other places where they're all pretty much the same. But Pella? Ho, ho, ho. So many customizations and designs. My elves aren't qualified, so Santa has to put in some overtime. Ho,
Let me make a call. BRB.
Frighteningly fast pellet team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
Yeah, I know. Santa already lectured me. Ask for a Pella gift card.
What if you need new windows or doors, but you're on the naughty list?
Then this will definitely help. Right now, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for 24 months.
Ho, ho, ho! Visit the Pella site, and to all a good night.
PellaWI.com.
Service restrictions apply. 12/31/2025.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Home buyers are raving about their experiences with the Citizens Bank mortgage team.
Aaron helped me get pre-approved really fast, like before the open house even started.
I called Devin so many times with questions, and he always answered.
It's more than a mortgage. It's your future. And at Citizens Bank, we make it personal. Learn more at citizensbankwi.bank/mortgage. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender. NMLS 746419.
Game days are here, and your car needs to look as ready as you do. Before you hit the stadium, surf to Tsunami Express Car Wash, the ultimate pregame stop to roll in clean and confident. Our state-of-the-art tunnels treat, clean, protect, and dry every car to perfection. With 7 Milwaukee area locations, including our newest in New Berlin, we are wherever you need us. Sign up online and your first wash is absolutely free. That's a $25 value on the house. Claim your free wash today at TsunamiExpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Host an unforgettable outing and create special memories with your crew at a Milwaukee Bucks game. Groups of 10 or more can score ticket savings, block seating, and take part in special activities on game days. Showcase your team's talents on center court, score a high five from the pros, and more. There are great options for groups of all sizes. Start planning your ultimate Bucks basketball game day experience today at bucks.com/groups. That's bucks.com/groups.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's finally game day.
Bears rush 4. Willis floats one deep. He's got Doubs. He's got it. Touchdown, Green Bay.
And the countdown to kickoff starts now.
He's going to throw it. Oh, pressure in his face. Fires, and it is caught. A strike for Willis to Musgrave. 4th and less than 1. Willis going to keep it. He's going to get it and more. Malik Willis showing you the speed. That's a good play call.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Here's Alex Strouf.
Alongside Mr. Worldwide, Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf with you on Green Bay Game Day, which is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. We are live at the Central Trio just outside of Lambeau Field, and a tradition unlike any other when we do the show together the last 2 years, Gabe. During the commercial break, I jumped out of fear because the 1 hour to go until kickoff fireworks went off.
And my only regret is that that's not how you found out that the game was kicking off at 7 o'clock instead of 7:20 as you thought.
Well, I want to give credit to our producer, Will Summers, who, taking accountability for his own actions.
Sure.
We have this thing called the broadcast book, which kind of gives us a rundown of the show. And on the front page, it says Packers versus Ravens, Week 17 broadcast book, the date today. And then it says the same as last week, 7:20 p.m. kickoff. Now, hand up. It's my fault. I should know that. But, yeah, the injury report coming out at 5:30 instead of 5:50 was what confused me.
Yeah.
There we are. So, very good. We are 55 minutes away from kickoff now as we continue to do math. As Malik Willis and Snoop Huntley will line up under center for each team tonight. And there's a Malik Willis jersey walking by us right
Excellent.
now. I didn't realize how many were in circulation.
That's good. I mean, but again, I feel like he has become – I mean, he hasn't reached cult hero status yet. But again, it's just
kind of close, though, right?
It makes you appreciate when you have a good backup quarterback, because in the situations where the Packers have needed one in the Aaron Rodgers era, in this era, I think of the early Rodgers era, didn't really have one. And then, okay, we have Matt Flynn, and then he leaves, and Aaron Rodgers breaks his collarbone.
Yeah,
and then we go through. Who do we start with there? Who is the first one who then injured himself against Chicago?
It wasn't Seneca Wallace.
It was Seneca Wallace.
And then it was Scott Tolzien.
After Seneca, then it was Scott Tolzien, and then finally Matt Flynn came back.
I forgot about that.
And then was able to keep them their heads above water before we had the de facto NFC North Championship game down in Chicago in 2013. But then when Rodgers breaks the collarbone again, and we go through the Brett Hundley era, and that really doesn't really work out. It just makes you appreciate having that backup quarterback and how important that is. And honestly, Jordan Love wasn't a very good backup quarterback. The one game that he had to play when Aaron Rodgers missed with COVID did not work out. The game he started in Kansas City, he was not very good.
No, he wasn't.
But it just makes you appreciate, how hard that job is. You're not getting any reps. You have to come in cold, and you still have to produce. It's really worked out, and not just the games, again, where he knows he's had to start.
Right.
Whether it was last week, and Rob said maybe it's the worst one that he played, I think is probably the one here at Lambeau Field against Chicago. But last year against Jacksonville, he was fantastic in that game where he had to show up in relief of Jordan. It's a thankless job, and it's one that nobody thinks about until you are forced to think about it because your starting quarterback is out.
It's almost kind of nice we get to acknowledge the nice 2 years it's been with Malik Willis.
Yeah.
One final act likely tonight for him starting for the Packers, as Jordan Love expected back next week in the regular season finale, and then will obviously, hopefully, as long as he's healthy, be the starter as long as the postseason lasts for Green Bay, as their spot officially locked up earlier this week. The Vikings beating the Lions on Christmas Day eliminates the Lions from playoff contention and seals a spot for the Packers for the third straight year, which
it's just really weird because you mentioned it earlier. Man, this is as wide open as the NFL as you can remember.
Yeah.
And yet there aren't really a lot of playoff spots available for the last 2 weeks. I mean, you've got one wild card spot that could be locked up here with Houston currently leading the Chargers. If Houston wins, that locks up the final wild card spot, which means that the North over in the AFC is the only place where somebody can get in, and that could get locked up if the Packers defeat the Ravens.
Right.
Steelers could lock that up. And in the NFC,
it's only the South.
It's only the South. That's the only spot. So it's not like there's a lot of playoff berths on the line.
Great point by you, I guess. But it feels of the 14 teams that will get in.
Oh, yes, it's wide open. It certainly is. But again, as wide open as it is, usually a lot of these playoff spots are coming down to that last week, and you have so many different scenarios that can play out.
Right.
I mean, there is a realistic possibility that we go into next week knowing all 14 teams.
Yeah.
That possibility exists. Again, now where they are and where you have to go, the seeding is still up for grabs. But the fact that you know the 14 teams in the field, it's just crazy.
And for those of you that are just joining us, we went over this in the first hour of the program, but there's only 8 teams that can get in the NFC. We know 6 of them. The only one we don't know, as Gabe just alluded to, is the NFC South winner. Right now, Carolina's in the driver's seat. They are at 8-7. Tampa Bay is 7-8. The winner of that division will be the 4th seed in this year's NFC playoffs. Now, for the Packers, they are currently the 7th seed. They could get to as high as the 2 seed.
Yes.
They could also be the 6th seed in the wild card. I think they could also technically still be the 5 seed, but that's very unlikely because you're looking for somebody to lose out if you want to move.
Statistically speaking, I believe the 5th seed is the least likely. The 7 is the most. I believe 3 is second, 2 is third.
Yeah,
because if the Packers, chances are if the Packers win the division, the Eagles would then become the 2.
Sure,
the Packers
they could win their last 2, finish 12-5. Packers would be 11-5-1 if they win out with a win over Baltimore tonight.
Eagles have a tough one against the Bills tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty wide open. So the Bears, if you want to win the division, the path is as simple as this: you need to win out. You need the Bears to lose out their final 2 against the 49ers and the Lions. Right? That's the only way the Packers, after losing last week to Chicago, can win the NFC North, and they would be either the 2 or the 3 seed in that scenario, depending on what happens with Philadelphia. Now, if you want to move up from the 7 seed to the 6 seed, and very unlikely but could happen, is the 5 seed, is you need at least one of or both of San Francisco and Los Angeles, the Niners and the Rams, to lose out. Now, it could happen to the Niners. The Niners and Bears play each other tomorrow, so one of those 2 teams will start 0-1 with only 1 game remaining. The final game for the Niners is the Seattle Seahawks, who are currently the NFC's number 1 seed. Will they have anything to play for next week, though, is the question there ultimately. So you are rooting for somebody to lose out if you don't want to be the 7th seed for the 3rd straight year. But in all likelihood, Gabe, the Packers are staring down the barrel of the 7th seed for the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah, and it's... Look, I'm excited that they're in the playoffs, and the playoffs, obviously, as wide open as it is, anything can happen. It's just a little disappointing that that's where they're most likely to be. I think it's 75% chance that they end up as that 7 seed. It's just disappointing because they've been here the last couple of years, and it just feels like you're kind of spinning your tires a little bit. They are a really good team. They've had to deal with some injuries, but everybody deals with injuries. It's just the way of life in the NFL. Yeah. And it just, I wish they could have... If they would have won the division this year, it would have felt like a good step forward to them, at least to me, that, okay, yes, questions last year, can you beat these good teams? They do this year, but if it doesn't result in a division championship because they still stub their toe plenty of times along the way, it's a little disappointing.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and especially, again, the injuries may be a very fair excuse. You're still a playoff team, which is the good news. You're without Tucker Kraft. You're without Micah Parsons. You're without Elton Jenkins. You're without Devontae Wyatt for a majority of the season, and obviously the crucial stretch here as they approach January. But this was a year that it was laid up pretty simply to the guys in charge, from Ed Policy to Brian Gutekunst to Matt LaFleur. Better start winning championships. Got to start competing for championships. Brian Gutekunst, in fact, said that at the end of last season. This is a team that really wanted to flip the page and really get to the new window of opportunity to be competing for championships. And again, while the NFC seems wide open, 9-5-1 entering week 17 doesn't scream, ooh, they've had a sexy, terrific season by any means.
And again, being the 7th seed means you have to beat the 2 seed and the 1 seed in back-to-back weeks to make a championship game on the road, which means you're also going on the road for that championship game. It's an incredibly difficult challenge to face because even when they were the 6th seed, right? It's not like they were playing the 2 and 1. No, you had to play the 3, which was still a good team in the Philadelphia Eagles when they won the Super Bowl back in 2010. But even it's just adding that 7th team makes the path that much more difficult of having to play literally the 2 best teams in your conference in back-to-back weeks.
But I will say this, because it's the year 2025 and the NFL's been as crazy and as competitive as I remember in recent years in terms of anybody can beat anybody. If I told you the Packers went to Chicago wildcard weekend and Seattle divisional round weekend and won both of those games, would you go, oh my goodness, I can't believe you?
I would be a little surprised. Just because it is so wide open because teams have been inconsistent. And to be able to win those games in back-to-back weeks, that's the surprising part. Like, in and of itself, like those 2 events happening separate from each other, no, not surprising.
Sure.
Those 2 events happening together in back-to-back weeks, that would be a little surprising.
And now when we talk about this, it tells you how magical that run in 2010 was when they were the 6th seed.
Yeah, and I feel like at times there's a part of the fan base that doesn't, I don't want to say they don't appreciate the championship, but they're like, oh, yeah, I mean, we just did that back in 2010. It's a thing that we did. No,
it's unheard of.
It's really hard to do, and a lot of teams haven't done it. That's why winning your division, getting home playoff games, even if Lambeau Field isn't the same home field advantage it was back in the 90s, it's still an advantage to play in that building, and it's a reward for having a good regular season.
Trivia brought to you by Lakeland University, Wisconsin's leader in flexible, personalized education. Whether you're just starting college, finishing your degree, or balancing work and family, Lakeland lets you earn your degree your way. Lakeland University, experience it your way. 2018 was a weird year for the Packers.
Okay.
It's the final year of Mike McCarthy.
Yes.
At the trade deadline that year, they sent 2 players out from Green Bay to 2 other teams. One of them was Baltimore, who they play tonight. Can you figure out who those 2 players they traded out at the deadline were right off the top of your head?
No, I can't remember.
All right, we're going to give you the commercial break.
Okay.
Here's my hint. I owned both of their jerseys. It was a devastating day for my closet. We will reveal that answer. Hit our Gruber Law Office's One Call and our Island Resort and Casino Best Bet. All still ahead when we wrap it up on 620 WTMJ. With you until 7 o'clock on ESPN Wisconsin, right here on Green Bay Game Day.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice sculpture walk. Plan your Winterfest getaway at visitlakeggeneva.com. Lake Geneva, where it's always been the place for winter magic. Is back pain slowing you down? The OAW Spine Center offers specialized care with advanced treatments for herniated discs, spinal fusion, and more. Their board-certified orthopedic care specialists use the least invasive methods, starting with non-surgical options. If surgery is needed, they provide minimally invasive procedures. The OAW Spine Specialists focus on getting you back to an active lifestyle faster. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWSpineCenter.com.
Ben Brust here, and let's cut the crap. I've been sold the lie with sportswear too. You pay a fortune for big name gear, a fancy logo, and a slogan, and it still stinks. Then I found Iron Jock, and now it's all I wear. It's built on science. Their silver ion technology is woven right into the fabric. It kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria, and it never washes out, ever. Get yours today at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
The holidays are full of moments worth saving. Family dinners, cozy nights, holiday parties that last all night. And Carbless makes every one of them better. Crisp, refreshing, and full of flavor. 0 sugars, 0 carbs, and only 100 calories and gluten-free. Carbless is the gift that keeps on giving. A guilt-free cocktail that never compromises on taste, turning every sip into a little celebration. This season, bring bliss to every holiday moment with Carbless. Full of flavor, no compromise.
Looking up at the Marquette banners, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Number 15 retired in honor of Butch Lee. He finished in 78, and the number retired the next season. It's hard to believe that any player could ever equal what Butch Lee did at Marquette. Part of the national championship team in 77, and the Final Four MVP, and the next season, the consensus National Player of the Year. So much success, it's not necessary to bring up any statistics. Number 15, Butch Lee, did everything. Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line. For over 50 years, Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefit plans. From health insurance to customized coverage options, our experts make it simple to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning, your partner in planning confidence. Visit SaganiacPlanning.com or call John Saganiac Jr. today to get started. 262-783-6161.
As the year winds down, we all pause to take stock of where we've been and where we want to go next. If finishing your degree has been on your mind, this could be your moment. At Lakeland University, education fits real life with flexible evening and online classes, credit for your work and life experiences, and multiple start dates so you don't have to wait. Earn your degree 100% online, close to home at one of our 6 Wisconsin centers, or on our residential campus in Sheboygan County. This next year, invest in what matters most. You. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Continues live from just outside of Lambeau Field at the Tundra Trios. The American flag is escorted past us ahead of the national anthem at Lambeau Field. Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf with you. Gabe trying to figure out the Lakeland University trivia question today. Two trades made at the NFL trade deadline for the Packers. They sent players out, one defensive player, one offensive player, and one of those players wound up as a Baltimore Raven.
I am completely blanking on who they sent out. Did they sent no. I think they sent a wide receiver out, did they?
Well, he was kind of a wide receiver.
Oh, was that Ty Montgomery?
Sure was. Ty Montgomery became a Baltimore Raven.
You had a Ty Montgomery jersey?
I sure did, yes.
Why?
During the run the table season,
sure.
And he converted to running back, I just fell in love with him. And I had a friend that worked at the pro shop at the time.
Okay.
So she let me use her discount. So I got a Ty Montgomery jersey, and then the other one was a safety. He was a first-round pick.
Oh, that's when did they send out Demarius Randall?
No.
That would have been too late.
Too late, yeah.
Yeah, Demarius Randall was before that.
This was maybe the first-round draft pick I was most excited about, maybe up until Jordan Love.
Ha-ha?
You got it.
Clinton
Ha-ha to
Hicks?
Washington, yeah. Weird trade deadline that year. All right, let's take a look at our Gruber Law Office's one call. Gruber Law Offices has a reputation for winning. Their experienced and powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There's never a fee until your case is won. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the state and people of Wisconsin for over 35 years. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. Gabe, this is a weird game.
It really is. And it's been a weird week already in the NFL. We have 3 games on Christmas, all featuring backup quarterbacks. We've got 2 backup quarterbacks being featured in this game, making up for the one that doesn't have any backup quarterbacks going on right now, where the Texans lead the Chargers 20-10 with 3.5 minutes left. But I think because some of the weapons offensively are fine. Yeah, Mark Andrews is really good. I think Mark Andrews is good. Isaiah Likely is a good tight end as well. But the wide receivers aren't like world beaters for the for the Baltimore Ravens. Zay Flowers is good. Rashad Bateman, they're solid. They're good. But I don't think that the Packers fear them, so I think they're going to completely sell out and dare Snoop Huntley to beat them, which I don't think he can, because Jeff Hafley's going to have this defense ready. My one call is they hold Derrick Henry to under 75 yards rushing tonight.
I like it. Now, as you were going through all of that, I was just imagining the Baltimore version of Gabe Neitzel saying the same exact thing about Malik Willis.
Oh, yeah.
In the Packers offense.
Yeah. That none of those weapons scare you. Now, I would say when healthy, the way that Christian Watson has played this year, I think he is the best wide receiver in tonight's game. Again, not a very high bar to clear.
No.
I think Zay's got 1,000-yard season under his belt. And, I mean, Mark Andrews is the best tight end in this game. By far.
Yeah, without Tucker Kraft on the field, absolutely.
But again, not a very high bar to clear. So, Baltimore's probably thinking the same thing. But the problem is Baltimore, their offensive line just hasn't been very good this year at times. And I think the Packers' offensive line, outside of one play, which unfortunately got Malik Willis hurt from Morgan last week, I feel like their offensive line played incredibly well in that game. And even though they don't have Zach Tom again tonight, I feel like they are still gelling as a unit. And Jordan Morgan was able to step in and play.
I thought he was good. Tackle. There was one play making the rounds on Twitter where he just got blown up last week.
Well, yeah, that was the play where Malik got hurt.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
That was
that makes sense.
He was the last play of the regulation.
Then I completely agree with your point. Other than that, I thought he played well because we didn't really hear from him, right? And that's always a good sign when you're evaluating offensive line.
They ran the ball well. Whatever they wanted to do last week, they were basically able to do until they got into the red zone.
Right. I totally agree. So that would be something that's interesting to watch. I think I've tried this twice this year. I'm going to try
golden touchdown.
That's the one. Am I that easy to figure out?
Well, you said you're going to try it again, and I feel we were both on the Matthew Golden. Hey, this is the game. He's finally going to score a touchdown.
I guess
I trained for like the first 8 weeks.
Yes,
of the
correct.
season.
And we gave up for a while. I'm going back to it tonight. I think tonight's the night Matthew Golden finally gets into the end zone for Green Bay, but I say that with a little bit of an asterisk because I'm not entirely sure what to expect from a Romeo Doubs snap count. Something that you brought up earlier is something that bothered, I think, a lot of people, and that was, was he actually injured or did he give up on his guy?
Yeah.
And maybe he was actually injured, and I'm totally wrong on this. But I'm interested to see what his place in the offense is tonight after a crucial mistake that led to a loss last week. And I don't know what his attitude's been, but he's had attitude issues in the past, obviously not showing up for work last year. If Romeo is not heavily featured in the offense, then Matthew Golden better be. And tonight might be a good opportunity, despite the fact they're not going to throw the ball a whole ton with Malik Willis starting at quarterback, I guess, dependent on how the game goes. But I still think he's going to have some opportunity, whether that's in the intermediate or a long ball.
I guess with what he did, Matthew Golden, against Denver and having some 3 big catches there, made me hopeful. And that's, honestly, with Jordan being out, I think that kind of stunts the growth a little bit of Matthew Golden. Because it seemed like they were starting to get on the same page. And Golden obviously hasn't had as many reps, and then the illness prevents Malik Willis from practicing, so they get even less reps throughout the course of the week. So I hope you're right. I'm hoping that finally happens for Matthew Golden, but I guess don't know if they're on the same page the way that some of these other guys, like Romeo Doubs, like Jaden Reed, those are guys
Watson, obviously.
Christian Watson, that Malik feels a little bit more comfortable throwing to versus Matthew Golden.
Yeah, I guess I won't argue with that. I'm interested to see exactly what the game flow looks like from an offensive perspective. Are you trying to play keep away? Are you trying to dominate time of possession? Are you just trying to run the ball as much as you can?
But Matthew does have that athleticism where we've seen, probably a little too much early this season where they were getting him the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and they gave him to the ball once or twice last week on end arounds.
Yep.
So he's still somebody that they recognize the athleticism, they recognize the home run potential. While he hasn't hit any yet this year, they're still trying to make it happen, even if Malik isn't going to be as comfortable throwing him the ball as some of these other guys who have been here.
All right, we've got just over 2 minutes left with you on 620 WTMJ. We'll continue on ESPN Wisconsin until just before kickoff. So real quick, I want to give you my best bet, which is presented by the Island Resort and Casino, which is a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit their website, islandresortandcasino.com, to book your total experience today. You mentioned this in your one call, and I just feel like it's important to bring up.
Okay.
Derrick Henry's line is 74.5 rushing yards. And you said they're going to hold him to under 75.
Yeah.
So I
would take the under.
I guess you should put your money on that one.
I would take the under.
74.5, oddly, his line. This one I'm just a little bit confused by, which is why it's my best bet. Josh Jacobs' line is only 52.5 rushing yards tonight. And because he could still be dealing with the after effects of the knee injury, but he's not on the injury report. They kind of took him out of the game, and it upset him last week after he fumbled in the third quarter, but we know he was dealing with the injury a little bit.
Again,
I'm confused by that low line at 52.5.
The Ravens' defense this year hasn't been to the level of what you think of when you think of Ravens' defense, and now it has gotten better as the season gone along. They gave him some big numbers earlier this year, but they are 27th in total yards this year, 16th in points. So, again, they're one of the best defenses once you get into the red zone. They're very bend but don't break, but that has nothing to do with the yardage. That's a low yardage.
It's a low yardage.
I wish I could go cash in on that right now.
Well, I might have to take a look at some of the action up here in the Green Bay area, man. There we go. I love it. All right, that will do it for us. You've got Bucks basketball coming up next on 620 WTMJ, including the return of Giannis, it sounds like, at Fiserv Forum tonight. So Bucks basketball is coming up next on 620 WTMJ, coming up at the top of the hour on ESPN Madison. But ESPN Madison, ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPN Milwaukee going to stick with Gabe and I for about another half an hour or so as we continue to preview this regular season home finale for the Green Bay Packers as they host the Baltimore Ravens, looking to cap the Malik Willis era, likely with a win here at Lambeau Field. Bucks basketball is next on 620 WTMJ. Gabe and I continue with you, previewing Packers-Ravens after this on ESPN Wisconsin.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love Network Health. One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Time's running out. It's the final chance of 2025 to save big at the Last Call Savings Event. This month at Cunis, get 0% APR financing for 60 months on select new vehicles across multiple brands. Or take advantage of huge discounts and rebates on all new in-stock cars, trucks, and SUVs from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Thinking pre-owned? Check your local dealer website for a new selection of discounted pre-owned super specials and shop our group-wide inventory of over 700 pre-owned under 20 grand and over 300 under 10 grand. Plus, we have great service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes. Hurry in. When 2025 ends, so do the savings. Start your search today at shopcunis.com. 0% APR financing for 60 months on select models with approved credit through OEM lenders. Not all buyers qualify. Rate set by lender with approval subject to buyer insurability. 0% for 60 months equals $1,667 for $1,000 finance. Excludes tax, title, license, and $499 dealer service fee. Offer ends 1/5/26.
This holiday season, imagine a home that feels safer, cozier, and truly yours. Hey, I'm Brad Nortman, and I know how much it means when your home finally works the way you've always hoped. Lifetime Home Services helps families create that comfort, from cleaner air and radon safety to organized closets and smart home automation. It's all about making your home feel better every day. Mention this ad during your consultation for 10% off. Plus, earn credits towards future home projects with our end-of-the-year special. Start creating a home that feels good to live in at lifetimehomeservices.com.
One of the best things about the holidays is going home and spending time with family and friends. One of the worst things, getting there. Holiday travel can be tough, especially driving. If you or a loved one needs help after an accident this holiday season, we're here for you. Our top-notch team of experienced professionals is available 24/7. Be safe this holiday season. Gruber Offices. One call, that's all.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse, followed by an evening of comedy in Club 41. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
Homer here for Window Nation's end of the year sale. It's cold here in Milwaukee, and if you've been thinking about new windows, it's good you waited, because during Window Nation's end of the year sale, get 50% off, plus you could get 0% interest for 5 years. On windows that stop the cold wintry drafts, seal out moisture, and so energy efficient, you'll save money on your utility bills. Installed in 1 day. Lifetime warranty and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Sale ends soon. Don't miss out on big savings. WindowNation.com to get started.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel hanging out with you from the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. One final time this season, I think. But I'm not positive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still hopeful, because I do think that, well, the Bears are already, we know the Bears are underdogs in their game tomorrow night going into San Francisco, and the Niners are playing some really good football, especially on the offensive side as of late. But it's okay, let's say the Packers win here and the Bears lose there. Can we see the Lions come back to life and beat the Bears? That ends up being the question, and that's what would need to happen. And then the Packers, of course, would have to beat the Vikings in order to get a game here at Lambeau Field.
I'll just say this. You needed the Vikings to come through for you this week to solidify your playoff spot.
Sure.
They did on Christmas. You want to root for the Lions next week against the Bears, and obviously you need to beat the Vikings, take care of your own business before somebody else takes care of theirs. But, in great seasons, it seems like you get some help, and there's some magical or more so wishful thinking that comes to fruition.
I mean, the Packers needed help in 2010.
Right, that's what I'm referring to.
They needed help in 2010. They needed help in 2003 when I was here at Lambeau Field when they blew the doors off of Denver that day.
Mm-hmm.
Denver rested a bunch of starters because they were already in the postseason, and then the Packers get the most help you could possibly ask for from the Arizona Cardinals against the Minnesota Vikings. So, yeah, I mean, you do need some help. Now, I would have preferred that they didn't need the help.
Of course not.
But
Too late now.
Yeah, we find ourselves in that position. And again, it is not completely out of the realm of possibility that the Bears lose both of those games. It's not like they're going up against the Saints. You know, they're playing a team that is in the postseason and still, by the way, alive for the number 1 seed, believe it or not, in the San Francisco 49ers. Right. So that game means a whole heck of a lot tomorrow night for the Niners. It just comes down to, can the Packers take care of business here today? And then can you get a little help down the stretch? But it starts with tonight. You have to take care of your business for those games and the help that you could potentially receive to mean anything. And you got to end the 2-game losing streak. We've seen some good moments in both those games against Denver and against Chicago. You got to put it all together now and end the 2-game losing streak.
So there's been a little bit of a theme in the Packers' schedule this season. I noticed this last week, and I didn't want to bring it up because it's stupid and it doesn't actually mean anything, but I'm going to bring it up because it's stupid and it doesn't actually mean anything, and I find it a little bit of entertaining. So the Packers opened the season winning 2 in a row. They then didn't win 2 games in a row. They lost to Cleveland, tied in Dallas. They came back, won 3 in a row.
Okay.
They then again lost 2 in a row. They then had their longest winning streak of the season. They won 4 in a row. They've now lost 2 in a row, which means coming up next they're going to win 5 in a row, right, Gabe? Means they're going to the Super Bowl.
That would get them to a Super Bowl.
That means they would lose in the Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, I mean,
unless they want to just make it 6 in a row.
Yeah,
it kind of ruins my theme here.
Couldn't make it 6 in a row. But again, it has to start with tonight. And I know Malik is starting, but I feel good with him. And Jason mentioned it before. At this point with Malik Willis, it's not like you're going to a shortened playbook. In fact, it's probably, again, it's not that much bigger playbook. But it is. There are probably more things that you can do with Malik Willis in the playbook than with Jordan Love because of the athleticism.
The mobility. Yeah, the mobility, right? And Jordan Love has a little bit of mobility, but Malik Willis is a mobile quarterback. He can run. He used his legs, 10 times last week against Chicago.
And you saw it early when he comes in. They decide to go for it on 4th down and do the read option with him where he pulls it and ends up picking up the 1st down. That's something that we've seen on occasion out of Jordan, but I feel like whenever Jordan does it, he just he's not supposed to pull it, but he just kind of sees he can escape out the back door and get the yardage necessary. It's not like the true, hey, I'm out there reading the defensive end before I actually hand this or pull it.
Packers are 2.5-point favorites in this one. The over-under, despite where, it's actually gone significantly down. It opened at 46.5 when the thought was both quarterbacks would play. It's down to 37.5 with 2 backup quarterbacks, Tyler Huntley and Lamar Jackson.
That's a low number.
Not a lot of points expected. The spread has stayed the same all week. The Packers open as 2.5-point favorites. They are still 2.5-point favorites in this one, but 37.5 tells you this one could be a little bit of a doozy. Just for context, there was 38 total points last week in the Packers-Bears game, 22-16 the final in that one. So something in roughly the same area, right? The same amount of points is expected in this one between the Packers and the Ravens. The Ravens 7-8, technically still not out of it in the AFC North, but with a loss tonight, that would solidify Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers in the postseason.
It feels like we owe Aaron one, right? Like he got it done for us
after last week.
He got it done for us last week, even though our hearts were broken on Saturday. You got the win by the Steelers over the Lions on Sunday, giving the Packers a playoff berth. So hey, let's do our old guy. Let's do him a solid. Let's just beat the Ravens for them tonight. They can clinch their playoff spot. And then, oh, by the way, all of the playoff spots are taken in the AFC.
Yeah.
If the Packers win tonight, we have an entire weeks of Sundays, and then all of next week.
That's so weird.
And AFC would be locked up.
I've loved this NFL season, minus some of the injuries to the Packers.
Sure.
But at large, all 32 teams, this has been an unpredictable roller coaster ride of a season where you have teams that had top 5 picks last year being the first to solidify their divisions, right?
Yeah.
Look at New England.
Yep.
I mean, the way they've turned it around. Look at, even I hate to say it, Chicago turned it around.
Oh, yeah.
They're leading a division
Well,
entering Week 17.
Chicago goes from worst to first.
Right?
You know?
And New England did the same. I think there's one other. Is it Denver? I think they may have also gone worst to first.
Because Denver was a playoff team a year ago.
What am I talking about? Yeah. I'm thinking 2 years ago, before Bo Nix.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
And the two teams that were the number one seeds a year ago missed out on the playoffs completely.
Detroit and Kansas City. Yeah. So it's just been kind of an insane NFL season. But boy, has it been fun and unpredictable and just interesting to watch. But you mentioned it. The Texans have solidified their playoff berth for the third year in a row.
He eliminated the Fighting Phillip Rivers from playoff consideration.
Now that's a wild story right there. Didn't they start like 8-1, 7-1? They did, and it's just been all downhill since then. Texans over the Chargers in the first of two games today, 20-16. The final in that one. Both of those teams now 11-5. Both Houston and the LA Chargers in the AFC, and the Packers with an AFC opponent tonight in the Baltimore Ravens. Kicking off in 20 minutes here at Lambeau Field. We will give our final thoughts, evaluation of this game that I'm having a really hard time figuring out what to make of it. It's Malik Willis versus Snoop Huntley, just like we all expected when the schedule came out. Our final thoughts on Packers-Ravens is next on Green Bay Game Day.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice sculpture walk. Plan your Winterfest getaway at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, where it's always been the place for winter magic.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
Game day in Green Bay means friends, food, football, and fun. But first, make sure your ride looks the part. Whether you're rolling up to the tailgate, headed to the watch party, or just cruising around town, a clean car sets the tone for victory. At Tsunami Express Car Wash, you'll get a fast, premium shine every time. Plus, free vacuums and detailing tools keep things looking spotless inside and out. With 13 locations and growing across Wisconsin, it's easy to swing through your way to the action. Kick off game day the right way. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Looking for a delicious meal without breaking the bank? Cousin Subs has you covered. Our $10 meal deal gives you a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub piled high with fresh hand-sliced ingredients, crisp veggies, and all your favorite toppings. Add a bag of chips or regular fries, a fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal's available online or through the Cousins app only. And you can enjoy your meal at home, at work, or delivered straight to your door, hot and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available at participating locations. Offer subject to change.
College hockey fans, get ready because the ice is heating up in Milwaukee for the Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off. 4 powerhouse programs, 2 action-packed days, 1 champion. It's Wisconsin, Boston College, Lake Superior State, and the defending national champion, Western Michigan. Battling it out December 28th and 29th at Fiserv Forum. Feel every bone-rattling hit and every clutch goal as these elite programs collide for holiday bragging rights. Tickets are moving fast. Grab yours today at Ticketmaster.com or the Fiserv Forum box office. The Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off. 4 teams, 1 trophy. Who will own the ice?
Hey football fans, get ready for kickoff with homemade party must-haves this week at Sendik's. Start with delicious dips, guacamole, pico de gallo, potato chips, and popcorn. Score big with over 20 varieties of homemade sausage and gourmet burgers. Then, stop by Sendik's Deli for homemade salads, side dishes, and even pinza pizzas. All made from scratch every day. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
The shot clock's winding down, and Saturn Lounge scores at the buzzer. When your marketing needs a slam dunk, our team drives the lane with creative strategy, branding, websites, video storytelling, and marketing campaigns that win. We run the full court press in every engagement, pushing the pace, finding that open shot, and delivering the highlight reel results. Our Saturn Lounge team ensures that your marketing content and campaigns dominate like a champion. Don't settle for a turnover or a missed shot or a wasted possession. Let Saturn Lounge run your marketing game plan now. To tell the world your story, visit SaturnLounge.com today.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
15 minutes from kickoff on Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel with you for a few more minutes at the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field, as the last of the fans still out here tailgating, drinking their booze, eating their brats, are making their way into the stadium for Saturday night football. That is Packers-Ravens at Lambeau Field. The Ravens 7-8 on the season, not technically eliminated. The Packers 9-5. And 1.
If the Ravens lose tonight, are they more disappointing than the Lions? Because it's between those two teams. As again, exciting and everything we've talked about the NFL this year, these are two teams that had Super Bowl aspirations that are going to miss out on the playoffs.
Yeah, they were two of the top 4 or 5 teams.
I think the Ravens had preseason. I think
odds.
the Ravens had the shortest odds,
which shocks me. But I guess it does make sense when you have a 2-time MVP playing quarterback. But we talked about it a little bit earlier, very little bit. The report that's come out of Baltimore the last week or so about Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh and falling asleep in team meetings and just really strange meltdown in Baltimore. Which
they have practice in the afternoon because Lamar doesn't want to get up in the morning, and he prefers to have practice in the afternoon when Harbaugh would prefer to have it in the morning.
Just weird. But Lamar Jackson inactive tonight for Baltimore, who they really did revive their playoff hopes because they started the season 1-5, and then they rattled off 5 in a row and have kind of gotten back into the picture.
But then recently have played bad football again, right. and have just completely, even again, this last wild card spot in the AFC has now been claimed, but the way they've played as of late, they find themselves below 500.
And Pittsburgh seems to have figured it out with our buddy Aaron Rodgers over there. A win over Detroit last week. I saw he got all of his offensive linemen these cool side-by-side vehicles for Christmas, which he was always good about that when he was in Green Bay too. But
did you see? So he was mic'd up. Rodgers was mic'd up, and any of those clips that have been circulating.
No, I haven't.
So he was. I can't remember who it was, but he had beaten. He had scrambled out, and he ended up running out of bounds. So then he was trash talking the linebacker, because he was saying, well, you can't. I'm 42. I'm faster than you? What are you doing? How am I faster than you? How is this possible? And, Aaron, because the guy had fallen down when they went out of bounds, and Aaron wanted to help him up, and the player wouldn't let him up. So then he's talking to him in a later. Oh, you're ageist. You're ageist. You want to let you're mad that an old man's faster than you. You wouldn't let me help you up. And then what ended up being the catch of the year, that was just Aaron Rodgers doing Aaron Rodgers stuff. He told Gainwell, hey, motion out and run a go.
Oh, this is Aaron Rodgers playing in the sand, drawing up routes again.
Yeah, because it was less than 2 minutes or whatever. They were trying to get something on the board late at the end of the first half, and because Rodgers was mic'd up, you can hear him go, hey, motion out, run a go. He throws him the go and connects and scores a touchdown.
With the win tonight, the Packers would send Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers to the playoffs. They would win the AFC North outright with a Ravens loss tonight. Last thing on Rodgers, we'll get back to Packers-Ravens to wrap up the show, but where are you at with Rodgers? Are you rooting for him to succeed? Because this is likely his final season.
I'm glad to see him have the success that they're having this year.
Agreed.
It would have been funky. It would have been weird to see them go out the way, especially with the Achilles injury and the way everything went in New York. So
I would have hated that to be it.
I wouldn't say I'm sitting back and actively searching out Steelers games so I can root for him.
Sure.
I'm just happy to see him having success.
And you know what? They're going to go to the playoffs. Nobody wants him to burn out at 4-13 and that be his final season.
Yeah.
Right? Go to a playoff game, they probably won't win a playoff game. They're not that good. We saw what the Packers did to the Steelers earlier in the year. But certainly want to see them get in a dance and give Aaron Rodgers one final shot at that thing that he was only able to get to and win one time way back in 2010 with these Packers. All right, it's Packers-Ravens, Gabe. I've said it about 100 times tonight. I'm having a hard time figuring out what to make of this game.
Which is kind of curious. I understand that the two starters are out.
Yeah.
But as far as, first of all, data points for a backup quarterback, and B, like how deep these guys can go in the playbook. Yes, they're not as good as the starters.
Right, but they're both good backups.
But they're, as far as backups go,
they might be the two best.
These are two of the better backups that exist, I think, in the league because of the success that they've had when they've been called upon.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Jason pointed it out, which I think everybody always forgets about. That's former Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley to you, who made a Pro Bowl, was that 2 or 3 years ago when Lamar missed a large chunk of the season. But I don't know what this does to a team's psyche the way you lose last week in Chicago. So I'm excited to see if they come out angry and fierce and ready to go, or if they come out a little flat and this thing takes some time.
I guess, what do you think was a bigger loss? I understand in terms of losing the football game last week was bigger.
Yeah.
But they came out firing in that game after losing Micah Parsons the week before, which
and
was
losing in Denver, right?
Which obviously had taken the air out of the balloon. Losing in Denver. After the way Christian Watson went down and then Micah went down, there was an obvious reaction that team had, and they did not recover the rest of that game. And then they came out firing against Chicago. And look, I understand, and we talked about it before. Matt LaFleur, and we've been riding this roller coaster with Matt all season long. He does his best work when his back's against the wall. And once again, his starting quarterback is out. He does some of his best work. We saw Jeff Hafley do some really good work last week with no Micah Parsons. I think that this coaching staff is going to have this team ready to play. I don't think that there's going to be a hangover from – now, I think it also helps that you had the full week. It's not like a short week coming off of that, right? Mm-hmm. Usually Saturday's going to be – so you had the full week, and I think you had to have everybody sharp based on – okay, we don't know if Jordan's ready. We don't know if Malik's going to be ready, and then he gets sick and this illness is going around. I think that has allowed the team not to fall into a funk because there just has been no routine throughout the course of this week because of the illness and the injuries and everything else that's been happening.
Yeah, I guess that's just kind of also plays into it, right? Like, okay, you mentioned the chemistry with Malik and some of the receivers. He's been here 2 years. I'm not really worried about that if he is asked to throw the ball, say, 25, 30 times tonight. But I'm just, again, I don't know what to make of it. And you mentioned last week, like, yes, the offense looked good in the first half. They didn't capitalize on opportunities. The score was 6-0 at halftime.
No, they did not. They didn't punt last week.
I know.
All right?
They won time of possession by 13 minutes. They had 400 yards. They made 5 trips to the red zone. They scored 16 points. But it didn't make a lot of sense.
But that's where the key is tonight. And again, Baltimore is one of the best teams. They're 6th in the league in defensive red zone efficiency. They don't allow you to score points once you get in the red zone. They make you kick field goals. The Packers have to be better. If the Packers go 0 for 5 in the red zone again,
they might not win.
They're not going to win this game.
Yeah.
They have to be better. I don't know if they get 5 opportunities in this game, but you have to be better, and Malik Willis has to find a way to capitalize once they get in the red.
Yeah, we've of course made a lot of the backup quarterbacks that are playing in this game, but the other part of this is these are 2 of the best running backs of the last decade in the National Football League. They'll be carrying a large chunk of the load for both of these teams tonight, and Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry for Baltimore, and that's something that you got to keep an eye on is how much work is Josh Jacobs actually getting despite coming off of the injury report.
And again, that maybe both these teams end up winning that bet. Oh, hey, Malik, you got to beat us. Snoop, you got to beat us because we're loading the box.
Yeah.
We're not going to let Derrick Henry, we're not going to let Josh Jacobs beat us with backup quarterbacks in there. So it comes down to the offensive lines and the quarterback play themselves. And you said that, if Malik throws the ball 25, 30 times, I feel completely confident in Malik Willis if that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
Because he is just every time the Packers need something out of him, he has risen to the occasion. And I have full confidence that he could do that once again.
I love that we can talk this confidently about a backup quarterback because I remember in 2023, and Jason mentioned this a bit earlier, we never had to go there, But there was so much worry about if Sean Clifford had to enter a game the first year that Jordan Love was a starter, and luckily that never happened. And then Malik Willis gets 2 starts in weeks 2 and 3 last year, wins both of those games, including a win at his former team that traded him to Green Bay in Tennessee. And I think
but then played in the second half against Jacksonville, and
Chicago.
It was more than just those 2 games,
and has obviously seen some time this year, including last week. But again, was really good last week. He was 9 for 11. He only threw 2 incomplete passes. Had a nice touchdown throw. Like he's shown some really good things, and I'm excited to see him again tonight. Although I'd rather see Jordan Love versus Lamar Jackson. This is still a fun football game. This is still a fun quarterback matchup, despite them both being backups. All right, talk to me. How's this play out?
I think I think the Packers can still put up points. I think you're still going to find a way to be efficient. Not a ton of points for them. I'm going to say Packers ultimately win this 24-14.
Okay.
Relatively in
well over the over, though. 37
yes.
and a half. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it wins. I think they win.
Well, that would be barely over. That's 38 points. Man, math has just been rough for you today.
Ding. I think they win too. And it's probably somewhere in that ballpark, 21-17, 24-17. I think it's close. I think it's a good football game. But the Packers know what's at stake here the next couple of weeks. They need to win. They need to control their own destiny, if you will, and see if they could get some help along the way with Chicago's tough schedule coming up the next couple of weeks. Green Bay game night begins immediately following the final whistle with Homer, Tausch, Gary Ellerson, and Jason Wilde. Gabe and I will be back with you next week. Depends when the game is. Might be Saturday, might be Sunday. We'll find out tomorrow when that game is. But that will do it for us tonight. Thanks to Will Summers, Evan Wittallison, and Hunter Vaughn for joining us and running the show for us. This has been Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can